Everybody, this is the start of our Friday afternoon session. Let me do like our little trailer real quick. All right, we have some giveaways. So we are giving away an HTV cookbook bundle. So this is our newest book. If you haven't seen it, let me show it to you really quick. It is like our sublimation cookbook, but it's for HTV or iron-on vinyl, and it's got recipes in it. Recipes, right? Air quotes, for iron-on vinyl projects. So if you want to put iron-on vinyl onto wood or polyester, and that's for mesh. So at the top, it tells you the different kinds. And then all throughout, we have different projects, a whole chapter on glitter, how to put foil, HTV, all the things, right? So this is really cool. And the winner gets a print copy and a digital copy. And the digital copy, you can keep downloading it. So even as we update it or add pages, you'll have the expanded edition. I know. All right. So the winner of our HTV bundle is Peggy Zulowski. Congratulations, Peggy. We'll contact you by email. Please respond back within 48 hours. This is true for all of our giveaways. So we know that you're, a real person and you actually want this prize and all that. Congratulations. And then our next one is a sublimation cookbook bundle. So again, it's the print version of sublimation cookbook and a digital copy as well. So you can always have the latest updates. The sublimation cookbook is similar to HTV cookbook. It gives you projects and it tells you all of the times, pressures, all the different presses that you can use, all the stuff. So you never have to guess at a time or temperature or pressure again. It's really useful. All right, and the winner of our sublimation cookbook bundle is Debbie Cadiz. Congratulations, Debbie. We'll send you an email. Please reply back within 48 hours. Yay, awesome. All right, and I also would like to give out some more gift cards for Jennifer Maker. You can use these gift cards to buy any digital book that you might want, or you can use it for Maker Academy Weekend VIP Pass. All right, so I want to give a gift card to Tiffany Westling. Tiffany Westling. Congratulations, Tiffany. Let me zoom this in just a little bit more. There. so we can read that. And 1 to Donna Doherty, I think. Congratulations, Donna. And I want to give 1 to Patty Marin. Yay, awesome. And 1 more to Kelly Cooksey. And here is that one, Kelly Cooksey. Congratulations, Tiffany, Donna, Patty, and Kelly. You will all receive an email with details on your gift card so you can use it or apply it towards whatever you want in my store. Awesome. All right. So, and I have more gift cards to give away. So many more prizes. Remember, we're giving away a dream box too. Not mine, but 1. You get your own. We're giving away a Cricut Maker 3. We're giving away a sublimation printer. We're giving away a Cricut AutoPress. And we have lots of amazing prizes to give away from our guest teachers as well. So many wonderful, awesome things. All right, so our first workshop of the afternoon is winter shadow boxes, and I need a little time to get that set up. Before I do, does anyone have any quick questions for me? I have just a few minutes. If anyone's got any questions. Mary says, I love this book. It's been so valuable to me. Awesome. Thank you, Mary. I'm really happy to hear that. Lori says, is the giveaway entry just a one-time entry? Yes. You only need to enter once, and then you have the possibility of having your name drawn at random for any of our prizes. So you only need to enter once. Let's see here. Looking for any other questions that I can help everyone out with. Remember that you can go to makeracademy.com/weekend links to get really access to all of the, all the answers to your questions. If you're curious about the books, the VIP pass, our guest teachers, their awesome links and their awesome products. What else? The printable notebook, which is free. The weekend guide, also free. Links to our library, so you can download all of our files, all the things. So if there's something you're not sure about, be sure to check here. I'm like 99.9% sure you will find it. All right, I am going to put on our little timer for about 7 minutes, and we're going to get set up to do our winter shadow box. This is so cool because you get to, we have created elements for you to design it the way that you want to. So it's really fun. You're going to learn a lot, and it's going to be awesome. Hello everyone, Jennifer Maker here again. Let's learn how to make a beautiful winter shadow box. Let me show you what this looks like close up. This is our shadow box and it's so pretty. Like, of course, my lights are very bright here, so it's hard to see just how amazing it is. You'll have to use your imagination or wait for a video. But what I want you to know is that, which is really so cool about it, is you're going to get to change this to suit your purposes, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is really cool. Have you ever seen these? Have you ever cut an intricate cardstock project like this? And did it not quite turn out as expected? Did you have pieces of cardstock that didn't cut all the way through? Did they leave messy edges and turn what should have been a pretty detailed design into a cardstock nightmare? Well, fear not, because I have found a really neat new method to help get super detailed cuts without tearing, using nothing other than clear vinyl. Cool, right? You're gonna love this. If you've ever had this issue, you're gonna love this. So applying vinyl to the back of the cardstock makes it sturdy enough for your Cricut to cut the tiniest little details. Plus, it makes the paper strong enough to keep it from tearing when you remove it from your machine mat. Since the vinyl is on the back, you cannot even tell it's there either. Now you can find the complete supply list for this project over at jennifermaker.com/529. Let me put the link up for you. I probably will have to update it. I do. Give me just a second. It is 529, not 525. There we go. So it's at jennifermaker.com/529. But let me show you exactly what you need to make your own shadow box. I'm going to get all the supplies I've got stored in my dream box out to show you. We are over here now. That means we're just about at the just a little over halfway right now with this project of Maker Academy weekend. All right. So, got my materials list. Let me show you what I've got here. All right, so I've got all the supplies out of my dream box to show you. Sorry, excuse me. I've got a cough here. And I need just to do a thing. Sorry, everybody. My notes are not scrolling for me. So I have to walk around here to get them. Greg normally would help me with this, but he's actually at our house letting our dogs out because we are at our studio right now and the poor dogs are there all day and they really need to go out and all that. So thank you. All right. All right. So you know that I just love a simple project that doesn't look simple. So there are only a few basic materials and tools that you need. It's actually I know that my box is full. Oops, let me also, thank you for bearing with me, everybody, while I get everything situated. This is your favorite project? Awesome, Nita. Sorry for my awkwardness. I'm actually kind of an awkward person, if you haven't noticed already. All right, so let's get our stuff out. We're going to go over everything together. Because the first thing we want is actually down here at the bottom, and that's our cardstock. That's the star of the show, right, is our white cardstock. So let's get that out. There we go. So we want to begin with good quality white cardstock. 65-pound is my recommendation. If you use 8.5 by 11 white cardstock, you'll need 4 8x8 pieces of clear vinyl. And oh my goodness, my notes are not progressing. Let me try this again because this is way too much for me to remember correctly. All right. There are only a few basic materials and tools needed. You'll want 65-pound 8.5 by 11-inch white cardstock, 4 8x8-inch pieces of clear permanent vinyl, which looks like this. It's called transparent. Can you see that? And you'll want an 8x8-inch shadow box frame. like this one. If you need this exact one, I have it linked in my material list. And then if you want to light it up, which I recommend for the best effect, you will want some LED strip lights, which we have in here. I'm not going to open up the bag, but our strip lights are in this bag right here. And you'll also want some batteries that work with them. Now for adhesives, I am using 3D half-inch glue dots to space out the layers and 3/16" flat small dots. They will adhere without adding depth. Then I'm also going to use some double-sided tape. Where's my tape? Here it is. Double-sided tape to keep the frame's wooden insert in place, because there's a wooden insert in our frame. All right, so if you're not familiar with dots, these are invaluable when it comes to creating depth in your, or not, in your shadow box. These are very cool. We're going to teach you how to use these in this workshop. Now for your Cricut, let me switch my camera here. So we are using a Cricut Maker 3 with a fine point blade in this workshop. But of course, you can also use the original Cricut Maker, any of the Explorers, the Cricut Venture, or the Cricut Joy Extra. All right, so this can be cut out at this size with all of the Cricuts except the Cricut Joy, the original Cricut Joy, the smallest one, right? And then you'll also want to have a brayer, of course, to keep your material down, a spatula, which I've got right here for lifting the layers without hurting them, a weeding tool for poking out little bits that get stuck in there, and a scraper tool, which I don't have right now, but oh, here it is. Here's our scraper tool, right? Other things that might come in useful are a pair of tweezers, some rubbing alcohol, just like this, a lint-free cloth so that you can clean off your glass on your shadow box, a craft knife, and a self-healing mat. And that is so that you can cut the backing where the light wire comes out so it's accessible. And you can also use clear tape, just regular old Scotch tape like this, to hold the assembled layers in place inside the frame. And the butcher paper, like this, will help you protect your pretty white layers and avoid getting them all smudged and stuff. So those are our basic tools. It's primarily white cardstock, and then of course our secret ingredient, which is our transparent vinyl. This is a really, really cool technique. If you've struggled with getting intricate cuts, you are going to love this. And then of course you need the Shadowbox kit design files. So this is a kit, there's different elements in there and you get to mix and match them to suit your purposes. And like all of our files during Maker Academy weekend, they are free for everyone to download and use. The SVG file includes an intricate 8-layer winter scene, plus a bunch of separate elements that you can use to customize your layers. So let me show you where to find the winter shadow box designs, and then I'll show you how to make your own. Step 1, get my free winter shadow box design. First, download my shadow box design at jennifermaker.com/529. You can either download right from that link by saving the project, or download from my entire free design collection. To find it, look for Libraries in the red bar at the top, and then click either Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Search the page for design number 529 and click the link to download the design. The folder has a DXF or SVG that you can cut with a cutting machine. There's also a PDF that you can cut by hand, and a reference PDF to help you identify the different layers and elements. I'll show you how to customize the SVG in Cricut Design Space in this video. I'm using the Cricut Maker 3, but you can also use any cutting machine that can cut 8 by 8 inches or larger, which is the size of this project. If you're not sure how to upload, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to unzip and upload SVG files. Step 2, prepare your design. Here's how the file looks on my canvas in Cricut Design Space. The main design on the left has 8 layers. I've used different shades of gray to tell them apart, but you can cut all in white or in any colors you want. It fits in the 8 by 8 inch shadow box in my materials list. Since the design is so intricate, I don't recommend reducing the size of the file. If you're using a larger square shadow box, flip it over and open the back up, and then check the opening's height and width. And then back in Cricut Design Space, keep the lock icon closed and change the height field to be 1/8 of an inch shorter than the opening that you just measured. Now let's use the shapes on the right to customize our shadow box. Click Ungroup to work with the different pieces. Pick the elements that you want to use. I'll use the truck, that's pieces I and J on the reference sheet, the two kids building a snowman, that's pieces K, L, and M, the horse, piece N, and the dog, which is piece P. Now hold your Shift key to select the other elements in Layers panel, and click Group, and then use the eye icon to hide the grouped layers. In the Layers panel, double-click the main design's top layer and type Layer 1 to rename it. Then hide the layer so you can see the next one on the canvas. Rename that one Layer 2 and keep going until you've renamed and hidden Layer 8. Now they'll be easier to keep straight. Show Layer 1 again by clicking the eye icon. I want to add the kids and snowman to this layer, so I'll drag a box over all three. Then drag them where they'll slightly touch the layer, like in the lower right. And the dog will look cute on the left. Make sure their feet and the snowman touch the snow. Then reveal the other layers to make sure the composition will look good. Move any objects to make sure they're easy to see. You may need to show some or all of the hidden layers to help you see what will be directly behind the objects that you're placing. Just take your time. Then hide layers 2 through 8 again. Hold the Shift key on your keyboard and then select Layer 1 and its elements. Click Combine at the bottom of the Layers panel and choose Unite. Again, rename the group from Unite to Layer 1. Now is a good time to save your work and then show all the layers again. And I want to add the truck to Layer 2, but the truck is multi-layered with a detailed top layer, that's piece I, and a silhouette bottom layer, piece J. So to do this, select both layers and group them so they don't shift around. Move the grouped truck layers into position Layer 2. I like mine with its tree touching the pine on the right. Don't worry about making it touch the ground quite yet. Try not to have a lot of tiny holes between the elements that might be hard to cut. But don't worry, if you have any stubborn ones, I'll show you how to fix them later. Let's compose Layer 3 in case it influences the truck's placement. I want to add the horse to the left side of the snow. Since the horse is further away, make it a little smaller, about 1.4 inch or so tall. Remember to make the horse's hoofs touch the snow too. Hiding Layer 1 and zooming in will help you see. Now ungroup the two truck layers. Hide everything except Layer 2 and the top truck layer. Click Select All, choose Combine, and then Unite. Rename the group Layer 2. Hide Layer 2 and show Layer 3, the horse, and the bottom truck layer. Again, click Select All, choose Combine, and then Unite. Rename the group Layer 3. You can move objects within their united groups if they're not completely attached to their layer or if you notice any tiny holes that won't cut well. But if you need to move the truck, remember to hold the Shift key and select both truck pieces in the Layers panel so you can move them together. If you have an area where there are tiny holes you just can't remove, make a copy of the layer with the tiny holes by clicking on Duplicate. That's a backup, so move the duplicate off to the side for now. Select the original layer on your canvas and click Combine, then select Undo, Unite. With the separate object still selected, click Combine again and then choose Weld. Now the contour tool works. Rename it Layer 3 Welded. Click on the welded layer to select it and click the contour icon at the bottom of the Layers panel. You can follow the steps in my paper cut lightbox tutorial at jennifermaker.com/409 to contour out any tiny holes. Here is how my Layer 3 looks after contouring. Then you can follow the steps above to duplicate, weld, and contour out any tiny holes in the rest of your layers. Once you're happy with the placement of your elements, you can delete the duplicate layers. When you're done preparing your layers, don't forget to save your work. Then find all 8 of your finished layers in the Layers panel and unhide them. To make sure everything looks correct, hold Shift and use the Layers panel to select any unused objects or layers. Then click Arrange and Send to Back so they're out of the way. Make sure they're hidden too. Now select Layer 1 in the Layers panel, then click Arrange and Bring to Front. I prefer this process because it's easier to select the correct elements in the Layers panel. Dragging complex layers up and down in there can get confusing. Once you have layers 1 through 8 in descending order, you are ready to cut. Step 3, apply vinyl to the back of your cardstock. Cutting the intricate layers 1, 2, 3, and 4 by themselves might lead to tears and tears, but I have a secret weapon, a roll of 12-inch wide clear permanent vinyl. It will make the cardstock sturdy enough for all of these little details without impacting the final look. Without it, my test pieces sometimes tore when I took them off the mats or during assembly. Before cutting it to size, flip over your vinyl. And did you know that each square on the backing is a 1/2 inch? And you can use it to cut pieces of vinyl about 8 inches long or a little longer than your layer's width. If the cut vinyl keeps curling, flatten them out under a stack of books for an hour. Take 1 sheet of the clear vinyl and 1 12 by 12 inch sheet of 65-pound cardstock. I'm using white. Place the cardstock face down on your clean work surface. Peel back about 1 inch of the vinyl's backing from one end. Fold it down using the grid lines as your guide. And don't worry about fingerprints. This vinyl will be on the cardstock's back. Make sure the edges line up, then apply the vinyl's exposed end to one end of the cardstock. Don't let it stick until you're sure of the placement. Use the extra large scraper to adhere the vinyl. Reach one hand under the vinyl sheet between it and the cardstock. Pull a small section of the backing away from the edge that you just secured. With your other hand, use the scraper to press the vinyl down onto the cardstock in small strips. Peel the backing off from underneath as you go. Work slowly and make sure to smooth out any wrinkles before peeling off more backing. When you're finished, cut off any excess vinyl from around the cardstock's edges. And then repeat for the other intricate layers. Step 4, cut and assemble your shadowbox layers. Cut your design. Back in Cricut Design Space, make sure the correct machine is selected and click Make It in the upper right corner. If you're prompted, click On Mat, choose your mat size, and click Confirm. On the Prepare screen, you should have 8 mats if you're using the same color setup as I am. Make sure each layer looks correct and will be cut as one piece. If there are any pieces that will cut by themselves, go back and check your work. Note which mats are your most intricate, and remember to load the vinyl back cardstock to cut those. Click back on the first mat and then click Continue on the lower right corner. On the Make screen, check if your first mat needs plain or vinyl back cardstock. For plain ones, select the cardstock for intricate cut setting with default pressure. Place the plain cardstock face up on your green standard grip machine mat and use a brayer to make sure it's fully adhered. Check that your fine point blade is clean and in the clamp, and then load your mat into the machine and press go. When the cut is finished, unload your mat and flip it over onto your work surface and roll it back to release the cardstock. This helps prevent the material from curling and ripping. But for the intricate layers that need vinyl-backed cardstock, use the cardstock for intricate cut setting with more pressure this time. Place the vinyl side down on your Cricut standard grip mat. Make sure the vinyl covered area is in the top left corner of your mat, and do your best to position any wrinkles in the vinyl outside of where the design will cut. Adhere it with a brayer and then load and begin cutting the mat. But before unloading your mat, check to see if the cut went all the way through. If it didn't, press the Go button again for another pass. You can slide your spatula gently under intricate pieces to remove them, but the vinyl on the back will help prevent them from tearing. If you do have any trouble with any of your cuts, check out my Cricut tips and tricks for cleaner cuts over at jennifermaker.com/blades. After removing your cut layers from the mat, you may need to peel away the excess materials around the cut area and use a weeding tool to poke out the inner pieces, as the vinyl will make the pieces stick in place. Here are what my cut pieces look like. Assemble your cut layers. Lay a piece of butcher paper down to keep your frame and your layers clean. Grab your cut layers and place them in order face down. We'll use a mixture of different size dots throughout the layers. Remove the shadow box's backing and a bag of push pins if included. Clean the glass with alcohol and a lint-free cloth, and then put the frame face down on your work surface. Take piece H, the solid bottom layer, and lay it face up on your work surface. Place small glue dots on the back of layer 7, that's piece G. I put one in each corner, one on each side, and one in the center. They're very sticky, so tweezers might help. Now flip piece G over, align it with piece H, and press them together. For layer 6, that's piece F, place several 3D glue dots on the back. They'll add a bit more depth. Try to place the glue dots in the same spot around the perimeter of each layer to make them more even. Flip piece F over, align it with piece G, and press them together. For layer 5, that's piece E, use 3D glue dots and attach it to the front of piece F. For layer 4, that's piece D, back to the small glue dots so it will look like the house has a snow-covered roof and a driveway. Since there are more intricate cuts, use more dots in the center areas to secure everything. Flip piece D over, align it with piece E, and press them together. Make sure the edges of the house are aligned properly before pressing everything down. For layer 3, that's piece C, use 3D glue dots for the large sections. If you added the horse or another small object, leave a 3D glue dot on its backing and cut it in half for that spot. Flip piece C over, align it with piece D, and press them together. For layer 2, that's piece B, use small glue dots for less depth. Flip piece B over, align it with piece C. Make sure the edges of the truck and the tree are aligned before pressing everything down. And for the top layer, piece A, use 3D glue dots. I used half a dot for each of the kids and the dog. Flip piece A over, align it with piece B, and press them together. Your layers are now ready. Place them face down inside your shadow box. Add the lights. Usually, I place lights around the edges of shadow box projects, but that technique didn't work as well this time. The light was dimmer in the middle and stronger at the sides, so the layers weren't as defined, and there was light leakage at the edges. I found that putting the lights directly on the backing worked better. So to do this, remove the foam padding glued to the backing piece. There's not much glue and it will be hidden, so just rip it off. Do your best to remove most of it. Grab your lights and turn them on to make sure they work. If you're using the lights from my materials list, you'll need to correctly insert 3 AA batteries and use the button on the battery pack or the included remote to turn them on. Place your frame's backing piece face down on your self-healing mat with the hardware at the top. Use your craft knife to carefully make a diagonal cut across the top of one of the bottom corners, about half an inch or so the light strand can go out the back. Discard the triangular piece that you cut off. Unroll your lights so you have a foot or so to work with. Peel off just a bit of the plastic backing at the end near the battery to reveal the adhesive. Your weeding tool can help it get started. Starting in the same bottom corner as the notch on your backing, attach the exposed adhesive to the inside of the backing, keeping the lights at least a 1/4 inch from the edges. Run your lights in parallel sections adjacent to each other, winding them back and forth to make several short lines. When you get to the end of one line, you'll need to bend the lights and make a turn in the other direction, leaving a small loop at the end. Continue peeling off the backing and attaching the lights evenly until the entire backing piece is covered. Depending on your placement, you may or may not use the whole strand of lights. If not, make sure the lights are turned off and use scissors to cut the strand at the nearest spot where you see the scissor icon.
Now cut 8 strips of adhesive foam tape a few inches long. Take one and peel the paper backing off one side, then remove the other backing piece. Remove the paper from another piece and stack it on the first layer. Attach the strip to the top edge of the frame's upper side. Repeat to add spacers to the other 3 sides. They'll keep the wooden insert in place and give the backing something to rest on when the box is closed up. You can put clear tape around the bottom layer's perimeter to help hold the design in place inside the shadowbox frame. Assemble the frame, turn on the lights, and show off your beautiful winter shadowbox scene. Step 5, show it off. Here's what my finished winter shadowbox looks like. You can set it on a table or shelf and hide the battery pack behind the frame.
Isn't the clear vinyl the coolest hack? Cricuts are amazing machines, but trying to get results like this from plain cardstock just can be really frustrating. I know this. And these are some of the nicest looking intricate cuts I've ever seen. And I've done a lot of paper crafts. You can try these techniques with the vinyl with other shadowbox projects too. For example, I have another one here. This will also answer some questions I saw. This project right here is our farmhouse scene shadowbox. Clearly we like this. The barn might look familiar to you. This is actually, by the way, this farmhouse scene, if you watch my YouTube videos, this is the scene that you see when in like my title sequence that comes in and says Jennifer Maker. You can change the focal point as we've done here. We put a bride and groom here. But yeah, okay. Well, anyways, you can use the vinyl on other intricate cut projects. I wished I'd known about this hack when I made this. If you want to recreate something with vinyl, or if you want to make this shadowbox in particular, you'll find this one over at jennifermaker.com/409. And also, it answers the question of could you use other colors? So as you can see here, we've used shades of orange, yellow, and white, so it looks good even in these bright lights on my set here. It is harder to see the design when it's so bright in here. I wish I could show it to you when the lights are off. If Greg was here, I was going to have him turn all the lights down, but it's just me and it would be much too awkward. So we have awesome photos though on our blog of it with all the lights off. And I just love the way the glue dots separate the layers enough to let the light work its magic and bring this scene to life. And I know you have questions about lots of things I've been watching during the chat. One thing that I want to reassure everyone about is that this is not actually a difficult project. What you might be, I saw some comments about, oh, this seemed a little bit confusing or overwhelming. We're trying to show you how to personalize it. If you're not interested in personalizing it, you just follow all the other directions to cut it and to attach it together, right? So this is just for personalization. So, but all the other stuff, you got this. You can totally do this. So you don't always, sometimes you just want to make the design that we've created for you, and that's totally okay. And sometimes you ask me, I'm going to use my tape to put this up like this. So I don't like the light reflecting on it. There we go. Sometimes, for example, I saw a question, can I use a cat? Can I have a cat here instead of a snowman or a dog? And you know something? If you personalize it, you absolutely can. Here's a little kitty cat. You see that little kitty cat? So you can do that. It's just a matter of attaching that shape to that layer. That's really all it is. All right, so I've got lots of questions. I'm going to answer as many as I can. Loretta says, are the pieces labeled with the letters or numbers somewhere? And yes, we have a reference sheet for you. It's in the file, so you can see what each layer is numbered so that you can refer to this as you are watching the video to get all the layers and match everything up. Sandy says, can we use foam squares instead of the Zots? I really recommend, for the best results, I recommend the Zots because they're see-through. If you use foam, it is not see-through, and when you turn on the lights, you might see the little squares of the foam pieces instead of nothing, which is what you want to see. So Zots are so cool because you can see right through them. That's why we use Zots. That's the same reason that I'm recommending that you use clear, transparent, clear vinyl instead of white vinyl or transfer tape or contact paper. You want it to be clear because you don't want anything to get between you and your light. If you use white or a color, you're going to need a much stronger, brighter light to see through your layers. So you want clear if at all possible. You don't want to use transfer tape, even though transfer tape is mostly clear because it's got lines on it. You don't want to see the lines on the back of your project either when you light it up, right? So get yourself a roll of transparent clear tape, vinyl, and for your intricate layers. If you're having an issue, if you're not having any issues cut intricate layers on your own, you don't even need it then. I think it's a great solution because I know many of you struggle with intricate layers on your Cricuts. Sherry says, besides the barn layer, and that is back here, the barn layer, right, this layer. So besides the barn layer, and the layer with the, besides the barn layer, which other layers are more intricate and would benefit from the vinyl back cardstock? So the layers with the trees, so this layer and this layer, see how intricate that is? Hold that up so you can see. You see how beautifully this cut? This has got vinyl on the back. You can see the shininess, right? But look at what an amazing job it did with the vinyl. There's no issues there. So the barn layer, the layers with the trees, I want to put this back in the right one. So this one maybe is okay without it. This one, probably the tree, and definitely this one. Okay. Other than that, you're probably okay not using the vinyl. So use it if you're struggling. So you could try cutting it without the vinyl, and then if you're just having so many issues, try the vinyl. It could really be a game changer for you. Michelle says, how do you keep the pieces lined up when you're putting them inside the shadow box? So I actually like to use the shadow box itself to help me line them up. So you can just, open it up and you keep the insert in there. And both of mine are closed right now, so I can't really show you, but you can just set them into the shadow box and then they will fall right into place. And you can do the whole assembly right inside the shadow box using the frame as the shadow box's frame as a frame for your layers. Tammy says or asks, could you use fairy lights instead of the LED strips? So you could, but fairy lights are not as strong as the LED strips. If you want to really see your layers light up, you're going to want to use the LED strips. Fairy lights are pretty wimpy compared to the LED. They're both LED, right? But there's a lot more wattage, would that be the correct term, coming off of the LED strips than there are off those fairy lights are like just one LED, right? Each point is one LED. So they're not really that bright. Susan says, what was the cutting type for cutting with the vinyl and cardstock combined? We recommend that you use the intricate cuts setting with more pressure. So look for the intricate cut setting and then give it some extra pressure by choosing more from the pressure menu. Robin says, is there a way to have different colors within the same layer? So yes, you could if you did it, within the same layer, different colors. Well, you would need to cut something separately and then add it on the top layer, right? So you could cut, the dog out of, let's say, gold cardstock because you have a golden retriever like we do. And then, so that would be just this one piece here would be the gold. And then you could put that, glue that right onto there, right? And then just that one piece would be gold. And I think I heard Greg come back. I'm going to see if he can help us with the lights so I can show you what this looks like with the lights off. Is there a way to make shadow boxes more cheaply, inexpensively? And actually, we do have the ability for you to make your own frames. So this project here, this frame is made of cardstock. You can see here, it's got dinged up. This shadow box has been all over our studio. It appears in a lot of our videos actually because I love it so much. But yeah, this project here, this is just a paper frame. So we've got paper frames that you can use. And I believe that those are all over at jennifermaker.com/423. Making sure I got that right. Okay, I lost it, but I think it was jennifermaker.com/423. You can look for shadowbox frames. And they're in our library too, and they are free for you to use. You do. Can you come turn off the lights so I can see if I can show this better to them? Because it's so very bright in here. Okay, Greg is going to try to turn off our lights. It'll just take a little time. We have a lot of lights. Can we get the ones overhead? That would be hard, huh? It would get really dark if we turn those off, but I could still try because I really want them to see what this looks like. We have lights, so we have like a dozen lights in here. And this one up here too. There. See, isn't that pretty? So, yeah, there you go. Do you like it? It's so pretty. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. You can just turn all the other lights on. I'll get those at our break. It's okay. Thank you. Alrighty. Anna Marie says, can you bring another image into the design to personalize it, like take out the barn and put in a house or something? 100%. Absolutely. You just want to make sure that all of your parts are connected, right? If there's like anything that's not connected will just kind of fall away. And, so that's why we have you unite everything when you bring it in. You could also use weld or unite. Either one will work. So yes, you can personalize this completely. You can do all of the things, which is actually really common with my projects. I often see people personalize them. So us creating this kit for you is a way to help you and encourage you to personalize. And yes, maybe it seems a little bit overwhelming if this is the first time you've ever done something like this, but you can do this. In fact, let me turn off this camera. You can do this. It's okay to try something new and be a little challenged. My suggestion is that if, like all that design space stuff seemed like, oh, I don't know what that is, or oh my gosh, there's so many steps. It's okay. We have broken it down for you step by step. Watch the replay, slow it down, do one step with me, pause it, and then do the next step and go on. And you can totally 100% do this. You really can. Okay. I know you can. And you're going to show me all of your awesome photos and I'm going to see. Julie says, do the dots add dimension or are the layers basically stacked on top of each other? There's actually two different types of dots we're using. These here which are in the purple box. These don't have any extra dimension to them. They're flat. They're just basically glue dots, but they're flat. These, on the other hand, do have dimension and they do allow the layers to give you the shadow and depth that is so cool about a shadow box. So two different kinds that we're using here. Doing okay on time. Good. Julie says, can you use pearlized or holographic cardstock? So both of those cardstocks will be really pretty thick and it'll be really difficult to see the light through. If you don't intend to light it up, then using different colors and different finishes of cardstock is a great thing to do because then you can see all of your layers without having to be in a dim room or have a bright light, right? So yes, like for example, when we did this one, you can see this even though it's pretty bright in here, right? Now we put the sun rays back here. This is illuminated and you can see those pretty well, but you could still see it even though it's, because we color the layers. Just know that you're probably not going to get both, right? If you use a darker cardstock or a thicker cardstock like you would get with a pearlized cardstock, the light won't shine through the same way. Now, one thing you could do is have lighter white 65-pound layers in the back. And then as you come up in your layers, higher up layers, you could have other colors. And then, that would be the best way to get a combination of both light and color. So to keep the color, or the special cardstock would be reserved for the top layer or two. Carmi says, where is the cheat sheet for the layers? It's inside the file. The file for this one is at jennifermaker.com/529. I think that's the right link. You guys can correct me if I'm. We're starting to get to the point where things might not be as easy for me to remember. But this reference sheet is inside the zip file for this project. So just look in there. It'll be in a folder called PDF. Just look in there for it. Okay, here. Shireen says, are all shadowbox frames the same quality? There's a lot of different types and sizes of shadow boxes out there, different depths and everything like that. So no, they're not all the same. I remember when I started doing shadow boxes, I think I got one from Michael's that was called a shadow box, but it was like a ½ inch thick. I couldn't put anything in there. There was no room. These shadow boxes that we're using, they're like 1½ inches thick. Might even be like 2. I'm not even sure how thick that is. They're really deep. And that matters because that gives you room for your layers and your lights. So they're not all made the same, unfortunately, no. Okay, and Rhea says, can you use 100-pound cardstock? I don't recommend 100-pound cardstock because the light is not going to shine through as well. That heavier weight cardstock is thicker, and so the light doesn't penetrate the layers as well. So you really, for the best results, you want to use 65-pound white cardstock. And if you use the vinyl, you want the clear vinyl, not white vinyl, not transfer tape, not contact paper. So yeah, this is going to be a fun project. Will this video still be up for replay all day? It sure will, totally. You can even rewind this right now and rewatch the whole thing again. You don't have to wait until later. If you're on YouTube, I think this is true on Facebook as well, you just slide that thing back, slide the thing back earlier in the video, and you can just watch from whatever point you want. Alrighty, let's see here. There's a question about how long the light strip is, and light strips come in different lengths. So, mine might be different than yours. Let's see if it says on here how long this one is. It doesn't say. I mean, I'm sure it says somewhere. But if you go to my materials list, which is right here at this link, jennifermaker.com/529, that will take you to the materials list, and then you can click right on that link to see exactly how long it is and all that good stuff. Did you guys like the tip to use vinyl on the back of your layers if you're struggling with your intricate cuts? I'm really hoping you do, because I know that people struggle with this, and I really want you to be able to cut all the things you want. It's a really big deal to me. Evelyn says, on my list, it's 9.8 feet. Thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate that. All right, it is time for us to go to our intermission, our little break. If I didn't answer your question, please don't worry. Just go ask in our Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/cricketcrafters. Here is the link to it, the bottom of the screen. We are always happy to help you out, as is the entire community. There's so many awesome people there. Our next workshop on sublimation stickers, or it could be other kinds of stickers in general, is coming up at the top of the hour. You can learn more about it and check out the supply list at jennifermaker.com/530. Let's change our link right now so I get the right link, and here we go. There, jennifermaker.com/530. So let's take a quick break. Get yourself a snack, maybe a little leftover Halloween candy. I would go for that, but I'm pretty sure it's all at home right now. And then we'll start back here in the same stream at the top of the hour. I'll see you in about 15 minutes. Hello everyone, Jennifer Maker here. Let's learn how to make stickers. Let me show you how cool these are. These are stickers that we have made using sublimation printer and sublimation sticker paper. Aren't these awesome? Let me show you close up. How cute are these? Be kind to yourself. See the beauty in every day. Stay strong, stay kind. You grow, girl. You're stronger than your morning coffee. Bloom where you are planted. Believe in yourself and grow positivity. And of course, these are just our sticker designs. You get to make whatever you want. We're going to teach you how to create these, but you can use what we're teaching you to make any stickers. And while the focus is on sublimation stickers, you're going to learn techniques that could really apply to really any stickers made with the Cricut. Because if you're anything like me, you love stickers, right? Do you love stickers? I love stickers. But maybe sometimes you wish that your stickers held up better, if you've ever made them before. Or maybe you want to stick them on your water bottle or even your car, but you know they're not going to hold up very well to getting wet, right? So enter the sublimation sticker. Because did you know that you can actually sublimate vinyl stickers, right? It is so cool, right? The colors really, really pop, and they are super durable. And the best part is they're waterproof. So you can stick them pretty much anywhere, and they'll hold up beautifully when washed or rained on. You can find the complete supply list for this project at jennifermaker.com/530. But I'm going to show you exactly what you need to sublimate your own stickers. So I'm going to grab my supplies out of the dream box to show you. I will leave these here so you can take a look at them. Aren't they so cool? We are over here, stickers. All right, so here are our stickers out of my dream box to show you what these look like. And I have the tote here, and I need Greg's help again. I'm going to ring my bell. Did you guys know I have a bell down there for his help? All right, in the meantime, let me show you what I've got here. So we have our gloves. This is a pretty low material project. It's mostly just sublimation paper, but of course the sticker paper as well. So I'm going to explain everything. Can you help with my notes, please? Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right, so we need sublimation supplies. I'm going to use 8.5 by 11 inch sublimation adhesive vinyl sticker sheets. That's these right here. They're specifically for sublimation. We're going to use 8.5 by 11 inch sublimation paper. And then those are the main things. Then we need our cardstock, our plain printer paper. We're going to use that to protect the sticker sheets when you adhere them to the mat. Basically, it doesn't really take a lot to do these. And then for tools, we are going to use a sublimation printer that has sublimation ink inside of it. So this is an Epson Eco Tank, but you can use like any sublimation printer for this project. You'll need a heat source to actually sublimate your ink to your sticker sheet. And that is, I've got the Cricut Easy Press here, but you could use a lot of different things. And I've got my fan out here to encourage you to have ventilation as well. And since these stickers are cut into shapes, right, it's not just printing, we need to cut them out too. So for that, we're going to use the Cricut Maker 3 is what I'll demonstrate in the video. So I've got the Cricut Maker 3 with a fine point blade, but you can also use any Cricut that has print and then cut capabilities. So that's the original Maker, any Cricut Explorer Series machine, the Cricut Venture, or the Cricut Joy Extra right here. The only Cricut you can't use would be the Cricut Joy because it doesn't have print and then cut. And you'll want a machine mat, a brayer, and some painter's tape for cleaning the sticker sheet before you sublimate it. And then the only other thing that we really need are the designs. And of course, like I said, you might not like my positivity stickers. Where are my designs here? This is what they look like after they're printed, before we press them. So this is what they'll look like. And then my completed ones are here, right? So these designs are free for you to use. I actually have a lot of stickers, so you're welcome to use something else, but we're going to demonstrate with these. But they're free for everyone to download and use. So let me show you where to find these super cute designs. And then I'm going to teach you how to make your own sheet of stickers.
Step 1. Get my free sublimation sticker designs. First, download my sticker designs at jennifermaker.com/530. You can either download right from that link by saving the project or download from my entire free design collection. To find it, look for Libraries in the red bar at the top, then click either Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Search the page for design number 530 and click the link to download the designs. Unzip it and open the download folder, which includes PDF and PNG files. Aren't these designs lovely? I love these fun, motivating messages, and they look so cute stuck to all sorts of things. After you've sublimated these designs onto a vinyl sticker sheet, you can absolutely cut them by hand. But today I'm going to show you how to cut them much more easily and achieve a kiss cut with the new Cricut Joy Extra. And I'll also demonstrate a Cricut Maker 3. You can also use an original Cricut Maker, any Explorer Series machine, or the Cricut Venture. Step 2. Prepare and print your sublimation stickers. If you've never used the print then cut feature with your printer, or if it's been a while, I highly recommend you calibrate your machine settings before starting for the best possible results. You can learn how to do this at jennifermaker.com/calibration. On a new canvas in Cricut Design Space, click Upload and find the PNG you want to use, and then click Open. Now choose Complex and click Continue. You don't need to do anything on the next screen, so click Apply and Continue. Then click on Print Then Cut Image and Upload. Repeat these steps to upload each of the other designs you'd like to make to Cricut Design Space, then add them all to your canvas. Here are what all of the sublimation sticker designs look like on my canvas in Cricut Design Space. As you can see, PNG files are very large. That's because they're high resolution, and so they probably look huge on your canvas. You can click the minus sign to zoom out. That's better. The images work well as stickers at 2.5 inches tall, but you can, of course, use different sizes based on your needs. I'd like to print then cut the entire collection at the 2.5 inch size, so I'll use 8.5 by 11 inch vinyl sticker paper. Like I said before, 8.5 by 11 inch paper just happens to be the size compatible with the Cricut Joy Extra cutting machine, which I'll demonstrate later on. If 2.5 inches doesn't work for you though, and you'd like to change the size of your sticker designs, click it and make sure the lock icon is closed in the top menu. Then enter 2.5 inches into the height field or whatever size you'd like. Since I've included a white outline around my designs already, my stickers are all set to be printed, sublimated, and then cut. If you're using your own images, you'll want to create a white offset around them, like this. First, upload your own images to Cricut Design Space and add them to your canvas. Click on one of the stickers and click on Offset at the top of your screen. Choose a rounded corner and drag the slider to adjust the border to your liking. I think 0.125 inches looks good, but you can use whatever you want, and then click Apply. A larger shape of the sticker called the offset will appear in back of it. In the Layers menu, make sure that only the offset layer is selected, and then choose a color for it. I'll make my offset white to help this cat really pop when it's stuck to a surface. Now we need to make sure the design and its offset print and cut together. To do this, drag a bounding box around both the image and the offset behind it and choose Flatten. If you chose white for your offset, it might be hard to see, but I promise it's there. It's best to sublimate the entire sheet at once and not in sections. When I did my tests, I found that sublimating in sections can cause inconsistent results. To help with this and to make sure my sublimatable area is the right size, I decided to create a guide. A guide can help you optimize the arrangement of the stickers so you can make sure they all fit underneath your heat press at once. To do this, over in the Shapes menu, find the square and add it to your canvas. With the lock icon open, resize the square to 6.94 inches wide by 7.43 inches tall. This size will allow all the stickers to fit on one page, which will easily fit under a 9 by 9 inch Cricut Easy Press. Send the square to the bottom layer on your canvas to make it easier to work with. In the top menu, choose Arrange and Send to Back. Then change the operation to Guide. Click and drag to arrange all the stickers within the guide so they're not overlapping each other or the guide's edges. If you've sized your images like I have, they should all fit on one page. Then select everything and click Attach. This is very important. Don't forget that step. There we go. This will make it so our entire sticker sheet can be sublimated at once under a 9 by 9 inch Easy Press. And we can cut it on something as small as the Cricut Joy Extra. With the correct machine selected, click Make It. Check that your mat says Print Then Cut with a material size of 8.5 by 11 inches. Now, since we're printing a sublimation design, be sure to toggle Mirror on, and as a rule, you should always mirror your sublimation designs. You shouldn't see the guide here because it doesn't print or cut. If everything looks correct, click Continue and then click Send to Printer. First, make sure that the correct printer is selected, then turn off Add Bleed and turn on Use System Dialog, and then click Print. The printer dialog box may be hidden behind Cricut Design Space, but you can see it if you minimize the window. With your sublimation printer selected, adjust the media type to Photo Matte Paper and the quality to Best. If your settings look different than mine, that's totally okay. Just pick the best quality settings for the best print results possible. Since we already have mirrored our design, do not flip the image as well. If you do flip it, it will just cause issues with cutting your stickers correctly later on. Now let's get a sheet of sublimation paper. If you're not sure which side to print on, look for the side that's bright white and shiny, rather than the side that's a bit more dull. Insert the sublimation paper into your printer so that it will print on the shiny side. If you still have trouble telling which side is which, check the packaging it came in for help. Once your paper is loaded, click Print. And once printing is complete, let the sheet sit for a few moments so the ink can dry. Now it's time to sublimate. Step 3, sublimate your sticker sheet. After checking my sublimation cookbook, I'll set the temperature of my Cricut Easy Press to 385 degrees Fahrenheit or 196 degrees Celsius, and the time to 40 seconds. If you're using another style of heat press, check the manufacturer's instructions or use my sublimation cookbook to determine the right temperature and pressing time for stickers. And just like any other sublimation project, it's important to remove any dust or debris from the surface before you sublimate. So I suggest you roll up some painter's tape and use it to clean the shiny side of the vinyl sticker sheet. You can also use a lint roller, but make sure it's been used a bit and isn't too sticky or it could damage your sticker sheet. Get a piece of clean white cardstock and then use heat-resistant tape to tape the vinyl sticker sheet to the cardstock shiny side up. This will help the sticker sheet to not curl too much when we press it. Place the sublimation paper printed side down on top of it, lining up the edges. Use a small piece of heat-resistant tape on each edge to secure the pages together onto the cardstock. On the last piece of tape, fold it over a little bit to create a tab. This will help you remove the sheets quickly after sublimating. Place your pressing mat on your work surface and then lay your cardstock, sticker sheet, and sublimation paper on top. Now lay a sheet of butcher paper over everything to protect your press. Now, put on your heat-resistant gloves and lower your press down onto your sticker sheet. Press firmly for 40 seconds at 385 degrees Fahrenheit or 196 degrees Celsius. When the time is up, lift your heat press straight up off the paper and return it to its base. This is where those heat-resistant gloves come in. Remove the transfer sheet from the sticker page while it is still hot. This isn't the norm with other sublimation projects, but in the case of vinyl stickers, it can help prevent ghosting if you remove the transfer sheet right away. The sticker sheet will curl as it cools, and that's okay. Allow it to cool for a few minutes before touching it without gloves. Step 4. Cut your sublimated stickers. Variation 1. Cut on a Cricut Joy Extra. Whether you're brand new to cutting machines or really just excited about making your own stickers, the Joy Extra is an awesome crafting tool. While it doesn't replace a larger size machine for full-size projects, it can do a lot, much more than the original Joy. And if you're new to Cricut, it's a great starter machine. So what can you do with the Joy Extra? Well, unlike the original Joy, the Joy Extra has print then cut capabilities, which means in addition to our sublimated stickers, you can make all kinds of other stickers. Plus, it can work with material sizes of 8.5 by 11 inches, which happens to be the size of most sticker sheets, along with many other materials that you can use for other projects. With the Cricut Joy Extra, you can print then cut Cricut's new printable sticker paper, white printable vinyl, silver printable vinyl, printable waterproof stickers, and lots more. It's really such a cool little machine, and I think it's the perfect starter Cricut for beginners. Plus, it fits almost anywhere. You can learn more about the Cricut Joy Extra in my ultimate guide over at jennifermaker.com/Cricut Joy Extra. I made all of these adorable stickers using my Cricut Joy Extra and its awesome print then cut feature. And now I'll show you how to cut sublimation stickers with it too. So once the sublimated sticker sheet is cool to the touch, place it on a glue light grip mat or a green standard grip machine mat that has been used a few times and has lost a little bit of its stickiness. Use a brayer to adhere the sticker sheet really well to the mat. See these black corner marks around the design? These are called registration marks, and your Cricut Joy Extra uses them to know exactly where to cut your project. All Cricut cutting machines have print then cut capabilities, with the exception of the original Cricut Joy machine. That's the blue one. All right, so back in Cricut Design Space, set the base material to light cardstock and leave the pressure on default. This setting gave me a perfect kiss cut, leaving the backing intact so your stickers are all on one sheet. If you'd like your stickers to be die cut, so your stickers are all cut all the way through the backing as well, you'll want to use the medium cardstock setting with the pressure set to more. This is a good option if you plan to share or sell your stickers. Now click Edit and switch the mirror toggle off so the Cricut cuts the stickers correctly and not backward. And then click Done. With a clean fine point blade in the clamp, load your mat and begin cutting your sticker sheet. After the cut is finished, press the flashing button to unload your mat. If you'd like to remove the extra material from around the stickers like I am, do it now while it's still on the mat. It is much easier this way. And use a whitting tool to help if there are any stubborn bits. Now turn the mat over and roll it away from the sticker sheet to release it. There, wasn't that easy? I told you the Cricut Joy Extra is super cool. Variation 2, cut on a Cricut Maker 3. Cutting your sublimated stickers on a Cricut Maker 3 is really quite similar to cutting them on the Cricut Joy Extra. So once the sticker sheet is cool after sublimating, place it on a blue light grip mat or a not too sticky green standard grip mat and use a brayer to adhere it well. Set the base material to light cardstock with default pressure to make a sheet of kiss cut stickers. Or use the medium cardstock setting with the pressure set to more for separately cut die cut stickers. And switch the mirror toggle off and click Done. Load your machine mat and press the flashing button to cut your sticker sheet. Then unload it, remove the extra material from around the stickers if you'd like. This isn't necessary, but I feel it helps me to peel the stickers off the sheet more easily when it's time to use them. Then remove the sticker sheet from your mat. How cute are these? Step 5, show it off. And that's it. Here are all of the adorable, empowering stickers. Didn't these turn out so beautifully? I love the inspiring little sayings, and they'll be so fun to stick to all the things. And them being waterproof is a total game changer. I'm going to be making so many more of these. You can stick them anywhere you want, a cute little reminder of something positive or motivating. They'll stick to any smooth surface like your water bottle or even your car window, and because they're waterproof, they'll hold up for a long, long time to hand washing or the rain. How cool is that?
There are a lot of sticker options available out there, and it seems like more are being developed all the time. It's great having different options for creating stickers based on our needs and to work with the supplies, time, and energy that we have on any particular day. There is a type for every purpose. And with the Cricut Joy Extra, you can make all kinds of stickers on a machine that only takes a little bit of space, which I really like. By the way, I have some Joy stickers right here that I made. You can learn more about the Cricut Joy Extra and all stickers and other things I made with it over at jennifermaker.com/CricutJoyExtra, and get these stickers too. I saw someone in the chat say they really like the dolphin. Isn't this gorgeous? Yeah, these are really cute. I love that these stickers can be put anywhere too. They hold up to being wiped down, being hand washed with soap, rain, car washes, everything. So I want to know, where would you put stickers like this? Let me know in the chat. I would love to know. I'm always looking for ideas on how to use stickers. I love stickers. They're just so cute and happy. All right. And I saw some questions about, could you just make these stickers from an inkjet? Totally. So I actually have some of the non-sublimation stickers here as well. And there's lots of materials, and you can just print these on an inkjet printer. These are holographic ones that you can do. Aren't these pretty? These are made with, I believe I used Cricut's printable waterproof sticker sheet in the transparent holograph ones. I think that's what these are. I don't know. It's kind of hard to remember, but obviously holographic. And I know that this was the Cricut brand. I love the holographic. Now that's not sublimation. That's inkjet. That's one way of doing it. Cricut also has, this might actually be the transparent holographic one. Now that I think about it, you see that shimmer? That's the transparent holographic one. This is the vinyl holographic one. And they also have a printable vinyl, and that's this one. So there's a lot of options. Actually, and all of these vinyl stickers, whether they're done on the inkjet or they're done on your sublimation printer, they're on vinyl, pretty much they're waterproof. Okay, they might, if you put them on the bottom of a boat and submerge it into the water, eventually that's going to come off. It's not that waterproof, but extremely water resistant. So just so you know, so I'm not like mischaracterizing that or anything like that. All right, I see lots of questions about making stickers, and I'm going to answer as many as I can. Debbie says, what would be the benefit of sublimation stickers versus regular stickers? So like I said, there's so many different sticker types. Now, most people, when they think of stickers, they go for sticker paper. And this is Cricut sticker paper, but there's other brands as well, Avery. I have many tutorials that use just sticker paper. This stuff is not even remotely water resistant. So if you're thinking of paper stickers, a sublimation sticker is a huge benefit because it is going onto vinyl and it's really going to last a lot longer. And also, I feel that sublimation ink has a benefit over inkjet ink because it's just it really, really dyes the material. The ink really gets in there. Whereas with inkjet ink, inkjet ink is still water soluble. It's like a totally different kind of ink. And I feel a sublimation sticker is going to last longer, be more resistant to handling anything that might scratch up against it, that sort of thing, right? So I think that of all the sticker options, sublimation stickers are at the farthest end of durability. That's the main benefit. The other reason to sublimate stickers is you only have a sublimation printer. You don't have an inkjet printer. You get to make stickers too. Mary asks if these are waterproof. Yes, waterproof enough for, regular use where, I wouldn't keep it something submerged in water. I wouldn't use it for something on a boat or something like that. But for normal water, yes, absolutely. Denise says, do you need to calibrate your machine every time you print and cut? Because most of us do other things other than print and cut. You don't have to do it every time, but if it's been a while, or if you cut something with print and cut and it's off, that's when you should calibrate. Like if it's been like a month or two, just calibrate it. It doesn't really take that long. And then you're going to have good results. Or if it's just doesn't look right, just calibrate it. Does the Epson Eco Tank come with sublimation ink, or do I buy that separately? The Epson Eco Tank is an inkjet printer that we like to use as a sublimation printer. It does not come with sublimation ink. It comes with inkjet ink. So if you get an Epson Eco Tank, because it is, and the reason we like to use this is because it's a really affordable printer for those who are just starting out in sublimation, just curious if it'll be something that works for you. A lot of times people will start with an Epson Eco Tank because you can get this model, the 2800, for around $200. In fact, I think if you were to go to our Facebook page right now, you would see the sale on it. It's often on sale, and I think we posted it just like a half an hour ago, the Epson Eco Tank on sale. So a lot of people like to start with an Epson Eco Tank, the 2800, the 2805, the 2830, they're all around the same price, but you have to get your own ink for it. I have a whole guide on this that I highly recommend you read/watch before you get an Epson Eco Tank and then put sublimation ink in it. I have put in mine, almost all of my Epsons have Hippo ink. However, currently it seems to be missing from Amazon. So if you go to get a printer and you're like, I don't know what ink to get, the ink Jennifer uses is missing. We don't know what's going on. We're trying to figure that out. I have an alternative for you. It is Printer's Jack ink. I've used Printer's Jack in my other Epson printer, and it did a great job. Really vibrant. And these are the autofill bottles. So I have linked this Printer's Jack ink into my tutorial so that you can still do this. So just so you know. So this is the autofill bottle, and that works with the Epson Eco Tank, just the way the Hippo ink did. Okay. If you have questions about that, let me know. We discovered that the Hippo ink was like missing from Amazon, like right before Maker Academy weekend, and we're like, what is going on? All right. Let's see here. Liz says, Jennifer, what's the difference between stickers and decals? Honestly, I think that they're actually the same thing, and it's just a different word. It's just, I have to admit, I've wondered the same thing. I think sticker sounds like something a kid would use, and a decal sounds all fancy and everything. So I would say that's really the only difference. Stickers are like the traditional stickers, like these. These are stickers. These are stickers. A decal, people will often use it to mean like a bumper sticker or like something a little fancier, or something a little loftier. But honestly, I would say it's pretty much the same thing. It just is a thing that's sticky that you put onto something else. So, different word. Kay Mosley says, my Cricut is not liking the registration marks on my sublimation paper. If this happens, you want to first pay attention to your light. Do you have like a desk lamp shining on it, or is your room really, really dark or really, really bright? Because light can confuse the sensor on your Cricut. The sensor, so that you know where it is, here is the maker. Remove that. The sensor is right between the two, or right under the, it's really close to the blade here on your Cricut, right? So if you've got like some weird shadows going on there, or a lot of, like, let's say it's your Cricut is near a window and the light comes in unusual places, all of those can like throw off the sensor and confuse it, because the sensor is looking for these lines. And if it can't get a clear read on these lines, then it's going to have a problem. Another reason that you might have an issue is if you're using a really reflective, glossy paper, because it can bounce the light in strange ways and make it difficult for it to read the registration lines. Another reason that you might have difficulty with your registration lines is if your printer is not printing these registration lines solidly. So if your black toner, your black ink is low, if you forgot to set it to best quality, if you've got banding on your print, if you've got, something going on that's causing it to not be nice and dark and clear like this one is, it can cause an issue. And one other thing that might cause a problem, sometimes, like when you get specialty paper and you put it in your printer, a lot of people will put the entire stack of paper into their paper tray, and then it misfeeds and it'll get cut off. The registration lines will get cut off, and you'll only see like a part of them. You don't see the whole thing, or it's like kind of pushed up. If that happens, it's not going to look in the right place for the registration lines. So always make sure you see all 4 lines and that there's a margin around them as well. And if you didn't, that means it didn't print properly. A lot of times it's easy to not notice that because, we just printed it. It must be fine, right? I printed a lot of things and made all of the mistakes. Jenny says, what settings do you use when you want the sticker to be cut out completely so you can give them to friends? So like, not a kiss cut, but a die cut. You want a die cut sticker. So like this, these are die cut stickers. Whereas when they're on a sheet of paper, like on their backing, like these here, these are kiss cut. So they're still on their backing sheets. Like this is the way stickers came when I was a kid. They kept them on their backing sheets like this. They came in like, they still come this way in the store. I see them. And you kind of just peel them off and use them as you go. These are die cut stickers. When they're individual, and I see them sold individually this way in lots of stores these days, these are, I think I just told you wrong, sorry. These are kiss cut. When they're on their backers, they're kiss cut. And when they're all the way cut through, they're die cut. Sorry. So if you want die cut stickers, you just need to make sure it's going to cut all the way through both the sticker paper and the backing paper. And it will change a little bit based on your paper, but for the sublimation stickers that we did, so for these, we used medium cardstock with more pressure. So rather than using sticker paper setting, you just use medium cardstock with more pressure, and it cut all the way through just like these did. Here's a nice close-up of them. Aren't they cute? I just love the colors. They're so nice and clear too. Mary says, do we need to seal the vinyl inkjet stickers? So there's actually different levels. So let me show you this here. I have actually many tutorials on stickers. I have a whole tutorial on waterproofing them, and we actually dunk them in water to test them. So I recommend that video. But not this one. Sorry, that's the wrong one to show you. Where's my others? Here it is. Okay. If you want your inkjet stickers, and this paper that I'm showing you is inkjet sticker paper. If you want your inkjet stickers to last as long as possible, you need to use the vinyl. Don't use the paper. That's the first important thing. And then there's 2 levels here. Just the printable vinyl does pretty good, right? But if you really want your durable, long-lasting stickers that will resist UV, not completely 100%, but still resist fading, right? Because the sun is just, it's hard on all inks. Then you want to move up to the Principal waterproof sticker set. These stickers have an extra layer that goes on top, and it seals in your ink and it protects your ink from UV. Again, it's not 100%. I've done some tests. I still see a little bit of fading, but the fading is not as bad as when there's no cover over it at all. Debbie says, are these dishwashers safe on cups? I wouldn't recommend putting them in the dishwasher because some dishwashers get very, very, very hot. And also, I mean, even just this double wall insulated tumbler, you don't even want to put these in the dishwasher. They're not usually dishwasher safe themselves. If you could try, of course, but if you put them into a dishwasher that gets too hot, like it has one of those sterilization modes, which a lot of dishwashers do, right? It can actually get hot enough to re-sublimate your ink and you'll get fading or blurring. So I recommend you hand wash, not dishwash. That said, all dishwashers are different. Some people have no issues at all and other people do. So if you're making them for yourself, test it. See if your dishwasher is sublimation friendly. If you're making them to sell, on the other hand, I would encourage people not to put them in the dishwasher or they will be disappointed. There's a question about our font, JM Cursive. If you want that font, you can get it at jennifermaker.com/542. We actually have a bunch of fonts. Let me see if I can show you. We recently put out a font bundle. All of our fonts in this font bundle are free for you to use, and you'll see them in a lot of our tutorials. It's actually the first post on our blog right now, but let me show you what it looks like. So this is what our blog, it's called Get Free Cricut Fonts, but you can use these fonts for whatever. But two of them are specific to Cricut because they are drawing fonts. Let me make this just a little bigger so we can see this better. So this font right here is for pen writing. This is called JM Tall. And that's examples. Here is JM Cursive. This is based on my cursive handwriting. So you can get this font too. This is what we used for our stickers, as you can see here. And JM Sweet. It's also my handwriting, but not quite. It's a little bit more stylized. I actually made it to put at Easter time to put on these little peeps, but I thought it was really cute. And we've used it for many projects. JM Groovy, which is a great font for this time of the year, a vintage handwriting font. All these fonts here are handwriting fonts. They're all made by hand on my iPad. So I have actually a whole workshop on how to make your own handwriting fonts. And then JM Pen Writing. This is my very first font that I made for Cricut, and it's just a single line font. And this is my handwriting. This is my everyday handwriting, for better or worse. I made this font for gift tags so that I could have my Cricut write out gift tags for me instead, and it has been used a lot. So those are all over at jennifermaker.com/542 if you would like to get this bundle of free fonts. All right, I have a few more questions if anyone is curious. I want you to know that I showed you sublimation stickers here, but you can really use the techniques minus the you don't have to like double cut on what am I trying to say? Not double cutting. You don't have to, like, there's one extra step that you don't have to do if you're doing just inkjet ones, because you don't have to press them onto your paper. You just print right onto your paper, right? So there's not a transfer the way there is with sublimation stickers, where you print onto the sublimation paper and then transfer onto your sublimation sticker paper. With inkjet stickers, you can just print right onto your inkjet sticker sheet directly, but you can't do that with the sublimation ones. You need to still transfer them. Okay, you're still printing onto your your sublimation paper, and then transferring them onto your sublimation sticker vinyl. I also saw another question in the chat. Could you just use white vinyl, like just regular white vinyl that accepts sublimation ink? So we've actually been noticing that if you, like, we're seeing some issues with white vinyl that we sublimate onto. At first they look okay, but then after a while, the inks are bleeding and they're fading and they're getting blurry. So I don't know. Like you could try it and it might be okay at first, but it might, after a while, it might not hold onto the ink and it might blur. So I want to caution you that you can certainly try it out and see if it works okay, but just keep in mind that it might change over time. Whereas a product that's made for sublimation should be stable and shouldn't have that same effect. At least that's what we hope, right? Oh, yes, and Doretta says, also, you don't have to mirror on inkjet stickers. Absolutely. So because you're just printing right onto your sticker sheet, there's no need for mirroring at all. All right, are there any more questions? Nancy says she was able to make my husband's handwriting into a font. That is so awesome. Candy says, can this same method be used with the Cricut Joy Smart Paper Sticker Cardstock? No, because that doesn't print very well. So that's a lot of words. The smart paper is not really even sized to go through a printer. Now, we did experiment with it when it first came out, and we cut it and we put it through our printer, and it did print, but you had to trim it first. So I guess if you don't have anything else, totally just go for it and use it. But it's also thicker and stiffer than normal sticker paper, and it's just paper, right? So you're not going to have any water resistant effects whatsoever. So I mean, if you've got it in your stash and you want to use it up, go for it. But I wouldn't specifically buy that paper to make stickers. Let's see here. Are there any other questions? What is the fascination with sublimation? That's a great question. It's just so sublimation allows us to create these full color projects that don't bleed or run or wear or crack or peel. And that is really, really cool. Sublimation is what we see on items at Walmart and Target and all of those places. Those shirts you see, those mugs you see, yes, sometimes they're using other methods, but often they're using sublimation. So sublimation puts professional level results into our hands at home. And I don't know about you, but that makes me really excited. I love the idea that I can create something that's going to last a really long time, keep its color, keep its vibrancy, be able to be washed without degrading like that. So that's the fascination with sublimation. It's so easy. Once you have your printer set up, your ink all ready to go, you just print and transfer. That's it. I've made dresses. I've actually made a lot of dresses. I love to decorate dresses, and it's a lot easier to do with sublimation than it is with heat transfer vinyl because I don't have to layer and weed and everything. I print and I flip it over onto my surface and I press it and I'm done. So I would say that's my personal fascination with sublimation. And I know a lot of other people really like it too. Wendy says, I love sublimation and have made some neat mugs and shirts for people. Yeah. So I see a lot of people love sublimation. It's a really cool. Now, that said, if you're not into it, you don't have to do it. Like, it's totally cool. All right, so don't forget you can get my other really cute stickers if you want. They're all in my library. We have lots of stickers. Just search the library, you'll find them, and have fun with them, or make your own. Or if you did my AI, actually, that's a good point. All of these stickers that you see right here, these were all made using AI art. I just went into my AI design software. I think I was using Midjourney when I made these, and I said, I want some watercolor animals. I want a cute little orange tabby cat, and I want a cute cow, and I want a cool dolphin. And it made these for me. I did clean them up a little bit, because I usually do. But, like, it's so cool. So Remember that we have that workshop on AI art if you want to learn how to do that yourself. It's really neat. All right, it's time for our next workshop. If I didn't answer your question, please come on over to our sublimation group. We'd be happy to help you out. That's at jennifermaker.com/sublimation group. Our next workshop, which is also our last workshop of the day, is the autumn shadow box. This is so pretty. It's coming up at the top of the hour. You can learn more about it and you can take a look at the supply list right now if you want. And that is over at, let me change our link right now. It's over at jennifermaker.com/521. There we go. So let's take a little break, get something to drink, get some fresh air, and then we'll meet back here at the top of the hour for our next workshop. Hello everyone, Jennifer Maker here. Let's learn how to make a beautiful autumn shadow box. Let me show you what these look like up close. I don't know about you, but I love fall. Everything about it makes me happy. The changing leaves, the cooler weather, pumpkin season, cozy sweaters, honestly everything. It's totally my favorite season. So I thought it might be fun to make a fall themed shadow box. I'm even going to show you how to add your own personal touch with a blank design that you can customize with your own word. So this word you see here, you get to customize it if you want. You don't have to. Making shadow boxes is a lot of fun. I just love how all the layers come together to make such a beautiful creation. I have made quite a few of them over the years, and this one is definitely one of my favorites. And for how beautiful this looks, is actually a pretty simple project. You mainly just need some good quality cardstock, a cutting machine, and a few other tools and materials. Now you can find the complete shopping list over at, the supply and tool list, I should say, over at jennifermaker.com/521. But let me show you exactly what you need to make your own shadow box. I'll get the supplies out of my dream box to show you. We're on our last tote of the center section. Here we go. All right, so of course, cardstock in our shadow box. Blank shadow box. Let's put that here and get all of our cardstock. Okay. So, and I'll switch this over to here. Let's get out our cardstock so I can show you that first. All right, so for cardstock, you need 11 sheets of 12 by 12 inch or 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock. Or, so that's an 11. This is an 11 layer project. Okay. So for cardstock, you can use 65 to 80 pound cardstock for this. But again, you'll need 11 sheets. And my notes are not progressing again. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to wing it. So 11 sheets. Now these are the colors I picked, but I saw someone make this just the other day, and she used the most beautiful colors. They were all blues and pinks and beiges. I loved it. But these are fall colors, right? So we went with traditional fall colors, but you get to pick whatever you want. There's navy in there too. All right, so the weight on this cardstock does not matter as much as it mattered for the light up shadow box that we did earlier, because we're going to rely on color to see our layers rather than rely on, the light to see through them. All right, and just a second, sorry. All right, so we're also going to use some craft board. And let me get out my supply list here. And we're going to want some foam squares. Yes, thank you. I want to make sure I get these details right. If I wing it, we might not get it right. Thank you. Yep, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks. All right, so yes, I'm going to go back to the cardstock because that's important. All right, so we're using 12 by 12 inch cardstock. If you want to make your own frame, which you can, here's a version that has our own frame. This is a frame that we made. You can do this too. You don't have to buy a frame, like a shadow box frame. You can make your own. For that, you will want to use the white craft board. All right, so because this is a lot sturdier than just cardstock. So use the white craft board if you want to make a frame. All right, so other supplies are, if you don't want to make a frame, you're going to need to buy a shadow box. So we're using a 12 by 12 inch shadow box if you want to use a pre-made version. And you'll want some small flat zots and some medium zots. I think these are the small and these are the medium. You want small flat zots and medium 3D zots to space out your layers. Now you could also use adhesive foam squares to add more depth between your layers, because we don't have to worry about light, right? because these are not see-through, right? So we can definitely use the foam. And then you'll also want some glue. I recommend the Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, especially for the frame, right? That's what we used it for. You'll want to use this for the frame. All right, now for your cutting machine, you can use really any Cricut except the original Joy. So I'm going to use the Cricut Maker 3 with a fine point blade, but you can use the original Maker, any of the Cricut Explore series machines, or the Cricut Venture. And if you resize it a bit, you can also have it fit on the Cricut Joy Extra. I wouldn't resize it all the way down to fit on the Cricut Joy, the original Cricut Joy though. And then you'll want a green standard grip mat, a ruler, a brayer, and a weeding tool to help you remove stubborn, intricate pieces that need to be popped out. All right, and then we need our design files. So again, there are 4 different, is that right? Yes, so we have Thankful, which is this one right here. I'm going to put away my library link. There we go. We have Thankful, and we have Autumn, and these are the ones that are pre-made. Remember, you can choose you can put your family name in here or another word that's important to you. And there's Fall, and then the one that we resized a bit and made the paper frame for, this is Family, right? So we have those 4 pre-designed for you. So all you have to do if you want to make one of those is get the design files. The files are free for everyone to download and use. So let me show you where to find those shadowbox designs. And then I'm going to show you how to upload them and customize them so you can put your own word in there if you would like.
Step 1. Get my free shadowbox design files. You can download my shadowbox designs at jennifermaker.com/521. You can either download right from that link by saving the project or download from my free design collection library. To find it, look for libraries in the red bar at the top, and then either click Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Search the page for design number 521 and click the link to download the designs. You can cut these shadow boxes on a cutting machine or by hand, and in this video I'll show you how to make this project easily with a Cricut cutting machine. You can use any Maker, Explore, or Venture. If you're not sure how to use downloaded designs, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to unzip and upload SVG files. Step 2. Prepare the design files. Here's a look at each design included with this project. One says Autumn. There's one that says Fall. There's also Grateful, Thankful, and a blank design that you can add your own custom word or name to. I'll show you how in this video. For this design, I'm using a 12 by 12 inch shadow box, and I've created all the designs specifically for the shadow box that I've included in my materials list. But if you're using a different one, no problem. Just make sure to measure your shadow box first. Not all shadow boxes are created equal, and it's important to measure the display area inside the frame to make sure we cut the right size design so the cardstock will fit. If you're making a shadow box with a pre-made saying, you can type the dimensions in the top size boxes in Cricut Design Space and press Enter. Make sure the lock icon is closed since this is a square design. Then you're ready to make it. You can skip down to step 3. If you're making a custom design, hold off on resizing your shadow box layers until after the customization. Custom word on a shadow box. Creating your own custom word design takes some patience, but you can totally do it. If you want to make this, you want to upload the SVG named Autumn Shadowbox Blank. This is what it will look like on your canvas in Cricut Design Space. If you look over the Layers panel, you'll notice the 2 red layers have a floating leaf. Those will weld to our custom word and eventually be part of the layer by the time we're done. For this project, I used the font Hey Lover, which includes pretty glyphs that we can add to our text. You can download it for free personal use from dafont.com. If you plan to sell your designs, make sure you purchase the licensed version from Font Bundles over at jennifermaker.com/HeyLoverFont. If you need any help installing fonts for use in Cricut Design Space, I've got you covered. Check out my tutorial at jennifermaker.com/fonts, where I walk you through all the steps you need. So to get started, click on the text icon on the left side of the canvas in Cricut Design Space to create a text box. Type the word that you want to use in the text box. I'm going to make the word fall. If you can't see the word well, click on a blank area of the canvas to exit the editing mode, and then click and drag the text box over to a clear area. Single-click the text box to select it, if it isn't still selected, that is, and then click the Font menu drop-down arrow to select a custom font. Click System to view your installed fonts. You can type the font name or scroll through the options, then select it. The text will change to our font, which is a pretty script font, but now we need to add in those glyphs that have the little swashes on the front and the back. So if you're on a Mac, you'll want to open Font Book, and if you're on Windows, you'll want to open Character Map and locate your font in either one. Now search for the first letter of your word that has the swash before it. This particular font has lots of options. Once you find the one that you're looking for, copy it and click back over to Cricut Design Space. Now we'll add our new letter with the swash attached. Double-click the text box to return to editing mode. Use your cursor to single-click and delete the beginning letter, and then paste in the copy glyph that you have. There you go. Isn't that cool? With this font, the letter spacing doesn't look quite right. Before we get into those adjustments, though, let's click back over to Font Book or Character Map and copy the glyph for the last letter in your word. Delete the last letter in the text box and then paste in the glyph. If you aren't familiar with glyphs like this or how to use them in Cricut Design Space, I can help you with that too. I have a tutorial that breaks it all down over at jennifermaker.com/fonts. Now let's fix the spacing on this word. With the text box selected, click the advanced icon in the top menu and select Ungroup to Letters. You may find it helpful to zoom in on the canvas while adjusting the letter spacing. We can now manually move each of the letters. Select the F and use the keyboard arrows to move it to the left. I pressed and held the left arrow key to get the placement that I wanted. Most importantly, make sure the F and A are still touching after making spacing adjustments. If you're making a different word, you may have other letters to adjust. Repeat this step as necessary until you're pleased with the results. I recommend using your arrow keys to keep the font aligned horizontally. When your word is spaced well and flows nicely, click and select all of the letters in your word. Then click the Combine icon under the Layers panel and select Weld. The word will be permanently stuck together. You can check in the Layers panel and you will see the word with the weld result in the same layer. If you zoomed in, let's zoom back out to see the shadow box design on the canvas. First, check to make sure the lock icon next to size at the top is closed to maintain proportions. Click and drag your custom word over the shadow box design, and now let's resize it. To adjust the size, click and drag any corner of the bounding box. You'll want the ends of the swashes to overlap the top colored layer. My word is about 8 3/4 inches wide right now. Now we're going to incorporate the new word into the design. We'll do this by creating offset layers for the custom word. We're going to do this twice. With only the word selected, click Offset in the top menu of your canvas. I set my distance to 0.1 with rounded edges, and then click Apply. The new offset layer will be selected on your canvas once it's created. With just that layer selected, click Offset again. The settings will be the same as the first offset, so no changes are needed, and just click Apply. And don't worry about the color of the word and new offset layers. We'll change those in just a bit. Now we need to duplicate the second offset and then attach the word and offset layers to each of the shadow box layers in the design. Select all the text layers in the Layers panel and drag them to a blank area on the canvas. If you need, zoom out. Select the second offset layer in the Layers panel. That's the one that we made second, and it's the largest outline of the word that we made. You can double-click to make sure the right one is selected by looking at the bounding box. It should be touching the very outside of the left and right swashes. Click the duplicate icon 5 times. Select those 5 layers in the Layers panel. They are all at the top, and click and drag them out of the way too. Select the shadow box design only and click the ungroup icon above the Layers panel. Now let's add the word to the layers. Let's work from the bottom layer to the top. We're going to leave the bottom black layer and the 2 green leaf layers just as they are without changing them. We'll start with a light orange layer, which is the 4th layer from the bottom. I think it's easiest to hide all the layers above the one that I want to work with. To do this, click the eye icon from the top shadow box layer down until you see the light orange leaf layer as your top layer. Select one of the largest offset layers and drag it over your shadow box layers. Click and drag your mouse over the visible layers. That's the black layer, green layers, light orange layer, and one of the offset layers. Click the Align icon and select Center. Your offset should now appear in the center of your shadow box layers. Select the offset and light orange layer only. It's easiest to select one, press and hold the Shift key, and click to select the second. With the 2 selected, click the Combine icon below the Layers panel and choose Weld. Your offset will combine with the light orange layer and become one layer. Pretty neat, huh? We're going to repeat those steps with the rest of the layers and weld each of the text and offset layers to the shadow box layers. Click the eye icon to unhide the dark orange layer. It will likely appear under the light orange layer, so don't be surprised by that. When we welded the light orange layer, Design Space moved it to the top. That's not a problem though. Just select the dark orange layer and click Arrange up the top of the canvas and then click Bring to Front. Now click and drag one of the largest offset layers over the dark orange layer. You'll notice when you do, it's not on top. No problem. Click Arrange and Bring to Front. Click and drag your mouse over all visible shadow box layers and the one offset layer. Click Align and Center. Now press and hold the Shift key and select just the dark orange layer and the offset layer. Click Combine and choose Weld. Now take a close look at your welded layer. You may need to zoom in to see everything. Do you see those tiny cutout areas? They were created when we welded the offset to the layer. Sometimes tiny cutouts like this can cause cutting issues, so let's remove them. To do this, we're going to use a Design Space feature called Contour. You can find it at the bottom of the Layers panel on the right. When you click it, a new window pops up. Contour is a great feature that allows us to turn cut off and on. If you hover over the design, you can see different areas change color ever so slightly. There are 2 ways to use Contour. You can click directly on the design to select a section or click on the individual sections in the right panel. Zoom in for a closer look. I'm going to fill in these few tiny areas, so I will select them and then click on the X at the top to get back to the canvas. If you missed any areas or removed too much, you can always go back and fix it. Contour is a great feature. Next, we have the lighter red layer, and just a reminder, this layer also has a floating leaf that we'll need to attach. Unhide the lighter red layer and then click Arrange and Bring to Front. Click and drag one of the larger offset layers and also click Arrange and Bring to Front. Select all visible shadow box layers and the one offset layer and click Align and Center. Press and hold the Shift key on your keyboard to select the red and offset layers and then click Combine and Weld just like you've done before. Next up is the dark red layer. Like we've been doing, unhide it and send it to the front layer. Do the same for one of the offset layers. Drag it over the shadow box design and send it to the front. Select all of the shadow box layers with the offset layer and click Align and Center. Press and hold the Shift key to select the dark red layer and the offset layer, and then click Combine and Weld. And I'll remove that little F cutout again. We're over halfway done now. Unhide the light yellow layer and send it to the front. Move an offset layer over the shadow box design and also bring it to the front. Select all of the shadow box layers with the offset layer and then click Align and Center. Press and hold the Shift key to select the yellow layer and the offset layer and then click Combine and Weld. Now unhide the brown layer and send it to the front. Move the last of the largest offset layers over the shadow box design and also bring it to the front. Select all of the shadow box layers with the offset layer and click Align and Center. Press and hold the Shift key to select the brown layer and the offset layer, and then, you guessed it, click Combine and Weld. And next is the white layer. Unhide it and bring it to the front. You should only have the original word and the first offset layers left. Click the first offset layer and drag it over the shadow box layers. Click Arrange and bring to front. Then select the shadow box and offset layers and click Align and Center. Press and hold the Shift key to select the white layer and the offset layer and click Combine and Weld. And it's time for the final layer. Unhide the top layer and then click Arrange and bring to front. Click and drag the original word over the design. Again, click Arrange and bring to front and select all of the layers and click Align and Center. Then press and hold the Shift key to select the top layer and the original word layer and click Combine and Weld. Your custom shadow box is now complete. If you didn't check for small cut areas as you went, I suggest going over layer by layer to see if any small bits should be contoured out. This will make for a cleaner and easier cut. Step 3, cut and assemble your autumn shadow box. Check that the right machine is selected in the top corner, then click Make It. If you're prompted about how you'll load your materials, select On Mat, choose your mat size, and then click the Confirm button. Your design will appear on, likely, 11 different mats. Pay close attention to the color order. Design Space sorts the mats according to hue and saturation. So basically in rainbow colors, beginning with white and black, low and high saturation. To find out more about how the colors work with layers, check out my tutorial at jennifermaker.com/Cricut mat order cut. The material size should be 12 by 12 inches with mirror off and then click Continue. On the Make screen, select the cut settings. I used medium cardstock 80 pound with more pressure and a fine point blade. If you don't see the material listed, click Browse All Materials and search for the appropriate material setting. Keep in mind that every machine cuts differently, so if you have a favorite setting that works for you, go with that. I found it really helpful to arrange all of my cardstock in the cutting order listed in Cricut Design Space. Make sure you're placing the correct shade of a color on your machine mat. Then place the first sheet of cardstock on your green standard grip machine mat. Use a brayer to really adhere the cardstock well. This is going to help you get a good clean cut. Now load your machine mat into your Cricut and press the flashing middle button or the Go button to begin the cut. When it's all done, remove the cardstock from the mat by flipping the mat over and rolling it away from the cardstock. Take your time with the more intricate cuts. Use a scraper or spatula to remove any leftover cardstock from the mat. A weeding tool may also be useful to poke out little pieces of cardstock that do not remain behind on the mat after the cut piece is removed. And then load the next piece of cardstock and repeat for the remaining layers. Now we're going to assemble this shadow box from the bottom layer up and use a mixture of Zots and foam adhesive throughout the layers. Turn the light green layer with solid leaf shapes and attach medium Zots around the circle and on the back of each leaf. Flip it over, align the light green cardstock to the solid bottom black piece of cardstock and press them together. For the dark green layer with the leaf outline, we're going to use dots again. Turn the leaf over and place medium dots around the outside of the circle. Don't put anything on the leaves yet, however. Flip over the cardstock, align it with the light green and black layers, and press it into place. Now you may notice that some of the leaf outline edges raised up. Let's fix that. Take a small dot and roll it between your fingers to make a long, narrow shape. Place it underneath the leaf edges on any that need to be tacked down. All right, next is the light orange layer with solid maple leaf shapes. For the back of this layer, we're going to use foam squares to give it a little lift. Apply a few around the outside of the circle and on the back of a couple leaves. Remove the adhesive protective pieces. You can use a weeding tool if you find that hard to do. Turn the cardstock over and place it over the dark green layer. The darker orange layer is next. We're going back to medium dots for this layer. Like the green layer, do not apply any dots to the leaf outlines just yet. Flip over the cardstock and press it against the light orange layer. Now, like we did earlier, roll small dots between your fingers and use them to secure any leaf edges that are raised. For the light red layer, we're going to use the foam adhesive again to add some dimension. Back to dots for the dark red layer. Place the medium-sized dots around the circle, flip the cardstock, and align over the light red layer. If any of the leaf edges need to be tacked down, you can use some small dots again. The light yellow layer will be the last layer with foam adhesive. We'll use dots to attach the next two layers, the brown layer and the white layer. Last up is the top layer. The accent word is delicate, so be patient. Place medium dots on the back of the top layer and align it over the white layer and press it into place. And once again, use small dots underneath any raised areas on the accent word. If you need a slender piece of adhesive, you can pull the dots to stretch them into thinner pieces. Your layer design is now complete. If you'd like, place some adhesive foam on the back of the bottom layer to help hold the design in place inside your shadowbox frame. Assemble the frame and show off your beautiful autumn design.
Didn't these turn out so beautifully? The pretty fall colors are just so pretty too. I am always amazed at the fantastic things that we can make with cardstock and a little glue. Now, I've got lots of other easy shadowbox tutorials on my blog, like this kind design right here and my love design. Let me show you. So you can find this at jennifermaker.com/ oh my gosh, I've forgotten the number. Oh, it's 341. jennifermaker.com/341, along with similar designs. There's kind, and then there's love, right? We also have a snow one too. That was in our Maker Academy weekend last year, but it's still in our library. But like we have actually quite a few designs like this. They're really fun. You can use colors like this, or you can make them fall themed or winter themed. It's fun to have a lot of options like this. So as far as shadow boxes go, you can certainly buy one, but now did you know that you can actually make your own? I gave you a little teaser of this before. This is especially useful if you want to make a shadow box in a size other than the standard 12 by 12 or 10 by 10 or 8 by 8 frames. That's usually what they come in. You may still be challenged to find a frame that's going to fit a venture size version though, I'll be honest, but there are custom framing options out there if you really wanted that. The DIY frames are super easy to assemble and come together with some craft board and some glue. Our Barely Art glue like this. They're really sturdy. Like this feels really solid. You would be surprised, right? This is not flimsy at all. You can learn how to make shadow boxes like this over at jennifermaker.com/DIY shadowbox frames. They're really cool. Alrighty, so I see we have questions about the autumn shadow box, and I would love to answer them. All right, our first question is from Tammy. Can you use construction paper? I would not recommend construction paper. Construction paper the fibers are very low quality. That's not going to cut very well. I recommend you use cardstock. You're going to be so much happier with it. It's not going to shred in your machine, and it's going to last longer too. So use regular cardstock, not construction paper. Robin asks if brayers are really necessary. I really think that, okay, yeah, maybe not completely 100% necessary, but a brayer will make your life easier because it's going to actually, when you use it, you can really push down into the adhesive and your cardstock will really stick to your mat, and that is going to cut so much better when it does this. A lot of, like, I will admit, when I first heard about a brayer, I really thought it was just another thing that Cricut was offering to buy. Did I really need it? Did I really need this accessory? And for quite a while, I didn't have one. And I think I got one as a gift or something. And then I started trying it and I'm like, wow, this actually makes a giant difference. It really makes a difference. So now you'll see me recommend it anytime we go to cut pretty much anything. Anytime I put something on my mat, I'm using a brayer to really adhere it, and I highly recommend it. Robin asks if Zots are glue. So they're an adhesive that acts like glue. I can show you. Let's see if it actually tells us if it's got like something on here that says what it is. I mean, I'm sure it's not actually glue because they're sticky still. And if it was glue, it wouldn't be sticky any longer. But Zots, let's see if I can show you. And can you kind of see them reflecting off of my lights here a little bit? I'm trying to get them to reflect. So these are the flat ones, and they feel almost, they remind me of like little bits of hot glue, but that they're still sticky. So they're they're really gummy. They're very flexible. They feel like, yeah, they're like super strong. They're very strong. So you don't really want to pick them up with your fingers and put them on. It will stick to your finger. That's why in our videos, you see us tearing off the piece of the backing that they come on and then putting them onto the backer. So Zots are really, really useful. And of course, you can also use 3D foam squares instead. These kind are linked in our supply list. And I saw a question about how thick these were. And I looked it up, and this set that we have, the ones that are linked in our material list, they actually come in 2 different sizes. So it's a set of them. So you get both sizes. So that's clear. So there is this set, which has this size square, and they are 1/4 of an inch thick. And then there's these smaller ones. You see those? And these are 1/8 of an inch thick. So you have options. And this matters actually because if you get a shadow box that isn't really deep, so you don't want the thickest possible foam square. But if you do have a really, really thick shadow box, you could use the thicker ones, and sometimes you could even double up on them for like really dramatic effects. Wendy asks if the frame for this project is in the same file. And yes, the frames are included in the file if you would like to make them. It's awesome. Mina from Sunnydale says, how should you pick a font to cut out of cardstock for a project like this? So you're going to want a cursive script font where the letters can all connect for a project like this. It's very important that your letters are all connecting for this effect. So you see how the A connects to the U and the T. It's like cursive. So we also will call this script fonts or handwriting fonts. So you want a font like that for this to work properly. Now you could try it with another font that doesn't connect, but when you get to the top layer, all the letters are going to be loose and they're not going to connect to the side. Now, if you really wanted, you could just glue each one onto that top layer. And, like if you're just really not into script fonts or something, or you're making this for someone that wouldn't resonate with the script font. So you could do that, but it will be a little bit more work. So you know, so you're warned. Tammy says, I really need more details about contouring these small bits. Do we remove them? So yes, the contour tool can remove closed. What is the best way to explain this? It can remove parts of a design. The best way to do this is to really click on the contour tool on a layer, and then you can just click on different layers in there to remove them completely. I don't have Cricut Design Space open right now, so I can't show you, but the contour tool is very useful. Just bring up the Autumn shadow box, bring up a layer, and click on contour and just play with it. Playing with things is often the best way to learn about them. Better really than watching me in a video. Cheryl says, what was the font that I used? And that is Hey Lover. So this font is called Hey Lover. Isn't that cute? It's a cute name. Brenda says, could you use Barely Art Glue instead of Zots? Yes, you can. Just keep in mind that you won't have the three-dimensional look. So you see how if I put this on the side, it like stands off a bit? So it won't have that effect. Instead, what you'll get is something more like this. These are all the loose layers here, right? They haven't been attached yet. So you'll get something like this. It's flat. And so when we look at it from the side, you see how it's flatter. So, but yes, you absolutely could just use glue if you don't want that dimensional look that we get when we use three-dimensional, like 3D foam squares or 3D Zots. It's your choice, of course. Bernadette Halter says, can you use contour hide all to get rid of all of the tiny pieces? Yeah, so hide all will hide everything. So you could use hide all and then have it show just the one layer that you want, certainly, yes. Another way that I like to do it is to use the menu on the side that shows all the layers, and I'll just click on each one that I don't want. That's another good way to get rid of things. But yes, you could use that, but I like to just go through each layer so I have more control. Tammy says, why do we layer some with the flat Zots and some with 3D? What is the logic or rationale to choose which ones when? So it's the best way to think about this is when you're creating a scene that you want to have depth and shadow for, you want to use a 3D spacer of some kind. So it can be the foam squares, it can be the Zots. Zots are preferable when you are having light shine through. When you have a layer that doesn't need to have that dimension, for example, the lettering here, you might not want to have a lot of dimension on the lettering here because it might make it a little harder to read, right? So in that case, you want to have a flat adhesive rather than a 3D adhesive. So if that helps you think about it. So you can ask yourself, do I want this layer to stand off the other layer and have a shadow? Or do I want it to be flat so it's easier to make out or read? And sometimes when we have layers in a shadow box, they're meant to be with another layer, right? They're intended to be right next to the one that they're at so that they can create a drop shadow, or like an offset, or they're adding a color to, let's say you have a tree with a cardinal and the black layer. Do I have my black layer here? Let's use this blue one. It's close. And this orange one will stand in for a cardinal, okay? So the black layer is your tree, and the cardinal is this orange layer. Now, cardinals are on trees. They're not floating a foot off of a tree, right? So if you wanted that cardinal to look like it was really on the tree, you would want a flat adhesive so that the two layers seem to be the same layer. But then when you want another tree that's in the foreground of your shadow box, you would want to raise up and create depth for. So you would use a 3D Zot or a 3D foam square for that. Hopefully that helps. Anna Marie says, when you make your own shadow box using craft poster board, have you ever cut an acetate layer for the front? I have not, but you could. So if you want to, you certainly can. You could just make a square right here And I don't know how to glue it on without having it look a little messy at the corners. Maybe a little tape or something. Maybe a tape runner around the edge would be good. We don't usually put acetate. We actually often remove the glass from our shadow boxes because the glass glares under our cameras. So we're usually trying to get rid of glare, not add it. But I know that sometimes you're worried about dust and that sort of thing. So yeah, while we haven't tried acetate, I don't see why you couldn't. It seems like a great idea. Helen asks, will you design shadow boxes for all the seasons? I would love that. I am not going to design, perhaps eventually I will. Perhaps eventually in time, we will have one for all the seasons. And honestly, we might already have one for all the seasons at this point. We have made so many shadow boxes, well over a dozen like family of shadow boxes. And each family has different designs within it. I know we have winter ones, not just in Maker Academy weekend, but other, like last year we had one that was just had the word snow on it. And we had a penguin one last year as well. And we have several spring and summer ones. We have several floral ones. We have several scenes, like our farmhouse scenes. But here's the thing. There are wonderful designers who create shadow boxes all the time, and they sell their shadow boxes primarily on Etsy. I highly recommend you go to Etsy and search around. There are probably thousands of different designs. If you can think of it, probably someone has made it, and they're gorgeous. They're professionally designed. They look amazing. They often look better than ours because that's not our focus. Our focus is to teach you how to do these things. And then when you discover something that you like, what usually happens is that you're like, okay, I want to do more shadow boxes. So I recommend you go to Etsy. They don't cost very much and you can get exactly what you want. And it's really cool. The alternative, of course, is to learn how to make them yourself. So you can totally create them yourself. It certainly takes some work to make these, but it is pretty satisfying. It is pretty cool. And then, of course, you have complete control. So, Diane says there's many on Creative Fabrica too. Yes, there's many places actually to get shadow boxes. Also, many of my fellow content creators create shadow boxes too. And so they may give theirs away, they may sell them, but there's really a lot of places for them. Yeah, a lot of places. Okay, how am I doing on time? I have a few more minutes. Mary says, what does the back of the shadow of the frame look like? It looks like this. It doesn't look like much. It's just a back. See, it's all closed up like this. Isn't this cool? This is a really awesome frame. It's really solid. You'd be surprised. But craft board is a really solid material. Shea asks, if I'm just getting started in paper crafts, shadow boxes specifically, what are the different type sizes of Zots I should stock up on? The ones that we recommend in our tutorials are generally really good. So we tend to use 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. And then we also have the 3D. There's 3D versions of all of those. You probably don't need all of those. You could maybe get the larger sizes and then cut them if they're too big for your project. That would be my recommendation. Start with one 3D and one flat, and then you can just either cut or combine as you need, right? You don't always have to have all the sizes at all. You don't. Dorothy says, can balsa wood be used to make pieces or the frame? Sadly, I would not recommend balsa wood to be cut on a Cricut with this design. It is just too fine and it would take you too long. It also probably would shred, unfortunately. And it can't be used for the frame either because this is folded and you can't fold balsa wood. If, however, you have a Glowforge or another laser cutter, you can totally laser cut this from wood and it would be amazing. It would truly be amazing. Jeremy says, I just bought the Cricut Maker 3, but I still want to use my Cricut Explore Air. Can I use both at the same time to make the project faster? You can, so long as one is connected by USB and the other is connected by Bluetooth, or they're both connected by Bluetooth. And you can absolutely use both of your machines. People often use all of their machines at once. I have many machines, and once a year I plug them all in and I send them all to cut the same thing at the same time, just for fun. Brenda says, why do you do so many layers under the word fall? Great question. Just our fall one. That is because if there were less layers, what would happen is the word would kind of like, can I show you how? So do you see on the side how it's pretty? Let me show you with one that doesn't have glass on it. We'll do this one. Okay, so here is thankful. Now, if we didn't have all those layers on underneath it, what would happen is the word would just sort of, there would be nothing under it. It would like bow down, and it would deform, and it wouldn't look good. So you can probably get rid of some and use some extra spacers, for example, if you really wanted to. But it really makes a difference in the stability of your project, right? You really need those layers so that it doesn't just go concave on you. That's the best way I can think of to explain that. Alrighty, so I think I got through most of the questions. I did see a question that's unrelated to this project in the chat. So let me address that really quickly. It was about the Epson Eco Tank. Somebody asked how to find that, and I wanted to just show you. So I'm going to go to a browser, and I mentioned earlier that the Epson Eco Tank was on sale and that we had posted it on our Facebook page. We like to post Amazon deals on our Facebook page. So our Facebook page, can you see this URL? Yes. It's at facebook.com/JenniferMakerCrafts. That's our Facebook page. We post an Amazon deal, at least one, every day. Every day we look for deals. Okay. So, and the Epson Eco Tank is on sale, and this is the post. When I brought this up a little bit ago, it had been posted recently. It's not the most recent post. We have had more since then. But if you go to that page and scroll through the list, you will see, and we usually put deal alert on the page to help you like identify it. So yeah, and there's a dorky picture of me with my Epson Eco Tank. But it is on sale. So if you're looking for an Epson Eco Tank, either to use as an inkjet printer or to use as, to put sublimation ink into for a sublimation printer, the one that is linked here, that's a 2800. It's a great price. It's an awesome printer. Kate Sire says it comes in tomorrow. I can't wait. Awesome. How exciting is that? All right. I am going to clear off my desk and we're going to have a little intermission, a little break, and then we're going to come back here for our evening encouragement, and I have more prizes to give away. So just take a little break, and I'll see you back here at the top of the hour, and we're going to cap off our evening. That was another amazing day, and it was so wonderful to hang out with everyone today and just talk crafts. And so many amazing projects. We did 6 today, and that's not counting all of the different variations. One comment that I keep seeing over and over in the chat is that I make it seem easy and that you think the projects are beautiful, but you're intimidated, or when you try, yours don't come out the same. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the crafter's journey. So let's say you visited our crafting group and you saw someone make a project similar to something you wanted to do. And it's amazing. And you know it's going to be really popular, and you think to yourself, why didn't I think of that? That is such a great idea. What's wrong with me? Why didn't I think about that? Or you watch one of my tutorials of a cute project, but when you try it, it's not quite the same. When that happens, how does that feel? Well, I mean, it usually feels like you're not doing as good as them, or, well, you're enough, or whatever, right? So this is a problem, a serious problem. And I personally have had this problem for many, many years, mostly before I started Jennifer Maker. I was never really the best at what I did, despite being an overachiever. We all know this, right? I worked hard, but there was always someone better than me. And it was quite common for me to see an email or read a post on social media or just hear about one of my peers doing something really amazing, and I was not. And the comparison became so difficult that I actually stopped working altogether for a little while. And there were times that I ended up crying, seriously, because I cry when I'm stressed. This is what I do, because I just wasn't good enough, or no one liked me, or whatever those negative thoughts that were welling up inside me were, right? And it hindered my ability to progress. Eventually, I realized this. I noticed it. I recognized it. And I set up blocks. I had filters on my emails so that those emails would go into their own folders. I didn't want to stop getting my awesome friends' emails, but I didn't want to constantly see them either. I actually unfollowed people on Facebook so I wouldn't see their amazing status updates all the time and then just get demoralized by it. I did a bunch of things like this, and I am not even remotely embarrassed to admit this. And gradually, over time, I learned that I need to have blinders on so that I would stop comparing myself to everybody, because I was not personally able to do that while I was seeing all the things that they were doing. It would have been ideal if I could have just said, hey, that's them, and this is me, and I'm not going to compare myself. But practically speaking, I found that virtually impossible to do at the point that I was in my life. Now, fast forward to today, knowing all of this, I was inspired to share my DIY projects and crafts. About 7 years ago now, I was on Pinterest and I saw all of these amazing projects, like the ones by Leah Griffith, her amazing paper flowers, and Corey George. And I'm like, I can totally make these things too. I want to join these cool crafters and put my projects on Pinterest with them. Literally, I think I thought things like that. I really did. That is exactly it. It's like, I want to be in the cool crafter club on Pinterest. So I started my blog where I could share DIY and craft projects, and I would put photos on Pinterest and see if anyone would come. I did this for a couple of years, and I just waited to see what would happen, right? So a couple of years very casually. And it was really just to see if I could. And I don't know, I was curious if people like my stuff. And by the way, they did. Not all of my projects, no, but a few, which was really cool. But the point is that because I was inspired by Pinterest, I saw a lot of really amazing things. Now, when I got serious about sharing and teaching my crafts, all of those amazing Pinterest projects were now even more amazing because they had been around for a while. Tons of people were going to them, but there were new ones from other crafters that had popped up in their place since I had first looked. And within the first week, I could feel those comparisons starting again. Like, my stuff isn't as cute as, Angie's or something like that, right? I could feel myself being like, oh, I could never make something that pretty or that cool, and no one's going to like it if I do, and et cetera, et cetera. So I made a decision really early on in Jennifer Maker's the span of things. So this would be in around 2016. And I'm so grateful I did this. I decided I would not go look at other craft teachers' projects unless there was some really good reason, like someone asked me to, like a friend or a colleague or something. And I would not follow them on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. And I would keep my blinders on and keep my head down and do my work. This was an intentional choice. So I chose not to follow all the DIY bloggers and craft YouTubers, just do my own thing because I didn't want to do the same thing to myself that I had done before. I did not want to fall into that comparison trap. And this turned out to be a really awesome decision for me because it allowed me to get past the hard parts and gain confidence in my own abilities. Now, I no longer do this. I am now secure enough that I feel totally awesome and okay looking at Leah's beautiful crepe paper flowers, and mine are never going to look as good as hers. I don't feel bad that mine aren't as pretty as hers because hers are amazing. Or I look at Corey's awesome sublimation crafts and worry that mine aren't as good as hers. It's okay. It's all good now. And the same goes for all of my craft friends because everyone has something they're really good at, better than pretty much everyone else. And I came to understand that. And I did that by giving myself the time and space to get where I am today. And now I can appreciate everyone else's beautiful creations without all that comparison. I still have some moments, sure. Usually it'll happen when I'm trying something new, but it's by far the exception, not the rule now. Of course, if you're an awesome person with excellent emotional intelligence, then you're able to say to yourself right now, I won't compare my beginning to someone else's middle. But if you can't do that, and I suspect most of us aren't great at that, that does require some skill, then you need to actually put your head down and stay focused on your own thing. And when necessary, you need to filter out the noise so you aren't distracted by it all. Whatever it is that you need to do to stay focused and believe in yourself and your abilities, that's what you do. It makes a huge, huge difference, and it's really crucial. This is not just a nice thing to do because it's important, it's really critical because otherwise it can totally stop you from progressing forward and doing what you should be doing. So I want you to put those blinders on, whether they're you're actually not looking at certain things, or whether they're just sort of, this is my journey, because it is your journey. You really do have your own journey, and it's not going to be the same as mine or another crafter's or another content creator or anyone else's like that. Each of us is a unique individual with our own path and our own branches on our path, our own obstacles and roadblocks and successes. And when you compare yourself, frankly, there's just no comparison, is there? And it's doing a huge disservice to yourself. It's even doing disservice to the other person. You have your own journey and you need to take your own path, and you need to just let other people be on theirs without comparing yourself to them. That's my little evening encouragement to help you stay focused, because I really saw a lot of comments today in chat about, especially that Jennifer makes it seem easy. I'm trying to make it seem easy so you will try it, but I also am not hiding any steps from you either. I'm just, what you don't see is all the testing, and you don't necessarily see the mistakes unless I show them so that you can avoid them, right? So when you go to do it, it's going to be more than when I did it, but I'm trying to keep it clear for you. So that's sometimes why it seems easy, right? Mary says, I was the same way too late. I learned I am unique. And I just scrolled. Let me go back to it. Where was it? Mary, there it is. Nope. There it is. Mary said, I was the same way too late. I learned I am unique. If God made each person different, why did I expect to be the same? That is right. We are all so very, very different from one another. We have different experiences, skills, different mindsets, all of those things. So it's whatever you do really is okay. It really is. All right. So I would love to do some giveaways. Do you guys want to do giveaways? I have 3 things to give away tonight. We have we have scholarships. We have a scholarship to 2 workshops of your choice. You get to choose. The workshops that you can choose from are Mandala Magic to learn how to make mandalas. Canva Creative, where we're teaching you how to use Canva to do sublimation and print and then cut projects. Fonts Firsthand, this is the workshop where I teach you how to create your own handwriting fonts. And then AI Art Design, that's the AI Art workshop that we have been having so much fun in and making all sorts of cool things. Our stickers came from AI Art Design. All right, the winner of our scholarship for our workshops is Sherry Voigt. I think that's how we pronounce that. Congratulations, Sherry. We'll send you an email with all the details. Please respond to our email within 48 hours. All right. Our next giveaway is for some Jennifer Maker gift cards. And I'm going to choose 2 names from my envelope. All right. The first winner is Tina Watson. Congratulations, you get a gift card that you can use for whatever book or workshop you want from our bookstore. And please watch for an email from us and respond. And then also Marion Fulkerson. Congratulations, Marion. Please keep an eye out for your email. Remember, we're going to send you an email, not a direct message, not a private message. We know your email address and your name, so make sure it's coming from jennifermaker.com. And then our third prize of the evening is a Cricut Explore 3 bundle. It has the machine in it. It's got Smart Iron-On, a sampler of Smart Iron-On, both iron-on vinyl and the adhesive stuff. Smart vinyl, by the way, if you don't know, is vinyl that you can put into an Explore 3, a Maker 3, a Venture, or either of the Joys without having to use a mat. They call it Smart Vinyl. So no mat is needed for those. And then some transfer tape and also an essential tool set and a basic tool set. It is a $517 value. All right. And the winner is Tammy Barnett. The first 4 letters of your email address are PETA. Congratulations, Tammy. You have won a Cricut Explore 3 and a bunch of awesome things to use with it. I can't wait to see what you make with it. All right, cool. So before we wrap up for the evening, does anyone have any questions for me? Anything I need to address or overlooked or anything like that? Oh, I see a comment from my team. Oh yes, my team asked me to remind you that the email for the prizes will come from vip@jennifermaker.com. And all of the first day winners have been contacted by email. Awesome. Great job, team. All right, any questions for me? I'm scrolling through the comments to see if anyone has anything at all. Not seeing anything else. I see lots of congratulations. Thank you for being so awesome, everybody. I truly appreciate it. Okay, well, then I think we should wrap up and get some rest because we have another full day tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 6 more projects. We are doing, I've saved some of my favorites for the last day. We're doing our hanging stars and our tabletop tree. And what else are we doing tomorrow? We are doing... Those are clearly 2 of my favorites because I remembered those. Tomorrow, I'm checking our weekend guide. Hopefully everyone's got that. Oops. I think I must be on a different day. They're not in order. I got them out of the pages out of order. One moment, please. Sorry. I clearly put things in a different order. Oh, I see. I don't have the whole thing picked up. Okay. Tomorrow's schedule, 10 a.m., sublimation gift bags and ribbon. We're going to teach you how to sublimate onto plain paper bags, glitter bags, and ribbon. So cool. You can create your own amazing things for all of the awesome gifts that you're creating. Lantern pop-up cards. These are really, really cool, super easy project too. Earrings from faux leather, also very easy. And then we're going to have another lunch and learn. And then when we come back from lunch, we're going to make faux terrariums with plants that you can't kill and don't die. And then we're going to make our hanging star lanterns. And then we're going to end the day with our tabletop Christmas tree. I can't wait to show you all these things. All right. And I see people are saying, what projects are you all excited to see? I see someone, let's see who it was. Carolyn says, I'm excited to see the ribbon. And Nancy says, I'm excited for the lantern cards. And I see lots of really nice comments. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that for all of your kind comments. Denise says, I'm going to watch the fall terrarium and the faux earrings. Excellent. Tomorrow is going to be amazing, Stephanie. I agree. All right, so let's wrap up. So, got to get some rest for tomorrow. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. I'll put the 15-minute little timer on around 9:15 a.m., just like this morning. And then we'll have our morning motivation at 9:30, more prizes, and then 3 workshops, and then our lunch and learn, more prizes, 3 more workshops, and then our evening encouragement and our grand prizes. All right. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Thank you all so much for being with me. Thank you to my amazing team for all the things that you've done today to help one another and everyone who's watching and making things. And I will see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning. Bye.